and welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You Get Off My Lawn, aka Kris, you're being creepy again. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. If you're a first-time viewer, we do a lot of painting talk as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything, so be warned. Of course, if you are attending live, you can ask your questions in the chat, whichever direction it is. And I usually get to just about all the questions, so, feel free to ask there. And if you're not able to attend live and you're watching this after the fact, you can submit your questions to Kris at wayofthebrush.com. It is in the description below, as well as a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all the Miscellaneous has links for all the social medias, as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. And, of course, it has links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. Of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, tastefully, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. And you'll also find a link for Patreon. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, I would not continue to do this stuff, and, it helps cover costs, and it helps keep the lights on, and this is all I do now, so... you're helping me out tremendously. There are goals and other perks that are associated at varying tiers. You'll find if you click on the Patreon link and, follow it. I think it's in the description below as well. And, so huge thank you to everybody who does and everybody who's considering it and everybody who is joining up today. Huge, huge thank you. Again, with more support, this could only get bigger and better and more fun. And one of the goals, I actually recently updated the goals on the Patreon page, and it's around, a certain point, and I'm definitely considering, we hit a certain point, we will, take on an assistant, of course, move into studio space, and, basically remove ads as best we can, of course. Platforms themselves seem to be, just kind of foregoing a lot of times when people, want to forego ads on their videos, because of support, right? Because obviously these big platforms, they don't really, support content creators that well, especially small content creators. So, there is that. And if you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, you can always support by thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, sharing the video. All of that helps the channel grow as well. So you're doing me a huge favor by doing those things, commenting and thumbing up the video and sharing. Those all are interactions, and they also help push the video out to other viewers who might be in a position to help. So again, you're helping me. By helping me, you're helping me. That makes sense, right? So huge thank you to everybody who does those things and interacts with the videos. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt. So it depends on what platform you're on too. It's like, I can't do it. It's annoying. But huge thank you. Huge thank you to Carl, aka Guymere Elfire, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take the time to thank Carl, even though he's no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that play before the email segments of the show. And so always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan, aka EB Comics, if you're into rare comics. Always take time to thank my baby bro for creating the intro outro music that plays at the beginning and end of the show. So always much love to my baby brother Evan for being a talented individual and for the ear of music and just, being an all-around good dude. Party on, dude. Anyway, but huge thank you. And of course, if you're into rare comics, check them out. It's in the description below. You know what? Just stop whatever you're doing. Just click the description below, and yeah, you'll see all the links. Who's joining us today? I can see Ebb and Flow. Sup, everybody? Dean Tabone. Good afternoon from the UK. Good afternoon. It's what, dinner time? Tea time for you guys in the UK? Usually, whenever I'm doing this, it's usually like dinner time, I think. James of Kent. Afternoon, Kris. Afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. George Hintz. Hello. Get off my lawn. Grim. Howdy, y'all. Howdy. Sir Peanut Butter. Morning, Kris and Peeps. Morning. Paul Noxie. There he is. Afternoon, all. Working on Night Lord at the moment. I had Paul, if you don't follow Paul on Instagram, follow Paul on Instagram. Paul is, I don't know when you sleep, Paul, because you seem to be on the internet at all hours, and I don't know how you do it, buddy, but you know, Paul might be a bot, I don't know, but he's probably one of the smartest AI out there. Anyway, Paul is working on, he painted a Necron warrior, like in following the Night Lord's color scheme, okay, which is the dark blue with the red accents and the white, you know, the skull, right, of the face. And I realized that color scheme is from He-Man. There's a He-Man character. What is it called? Hordor? Hardak? I think it's Hardak from He-Man. And that is the color scheme of the Night Lords. Hardak from He-Man, from way back in the day. And yeah, it was kind of funny. But I mean, like, it looks great on taking, which is a very interesting idea because, is something I highly recommend. And we have some email today too, you know, regarding what we were talking about last week, but we'll get there. Anyway, taking color schemes, like say for example, taking a Space Marine color scheme and bringing it over to another army. I think that's very, very interesting, and I like that. And so taking, you know, the Night Lord's color scheme, which is a famous color scheme for Space Marine. As soon as you see it on a Space Marine, it's immediately, oh, it's Night Lords, right? Everybody knows that scheme. But you transfer that to another army, and it takes on a different vibe altogether, even though all you're doing is replacing the model essentially, but you're bringing that color scheme over to another, you know, form. And it's very, very interesting. And so doing the Necron like that, I thought was really, really kick-ass. And it works well. It looks good on the Necrons. And now it makes me wonder, like, would Tyranids look good with that color scheme? Or would Orcs look good with, you know what I mean? Like, just take a color scheme that's famous, right? Especially something distinct like Night Lords. I mean, Blood Angels, solid red. It's kind of hard, you know? Dark Angels, you know? But say, for example, like something like Crimson Fist, where like the fists are red, right? Solid blue with red fists and maybe red emblems on the shoulder, that kind of thing, right? Or Black Templar, you know, mostly black but with white shoulders. You know what I mean? Like taking these kinds of color scheme aesthetic and transferring them over to other armies, I think is a very interesting idea. And yeah, so I think Paul I think Paul's onto something here, because I think that's really fun. I don't know if it's already been done before. It's been a long time since I've ever seen something like that. So to me, it was a great idea, and definitely check out Paul's Instagram. It's pretty interesting. Ariel Sisinski, hi Kris. Hi Ariel. Hi. Dean Tabone just started a Catachan army. Cool. Awesome. Catachan? What was the other one? Catachan? I remember way back in the day, everybody used to pronounce that all sorts of different ways. Ghost Starman Deluxe, there he is. Whoop, whoop. Monkey time. Whoop, whoop. We should get that as a soundbite. Whoop, whoop. Kayoma. Won't be able to see the show today. We'll catch it later. Just drop by to say hello. 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 Ram V, evening, Kristen, from Norway. Well, evening. Koma and Ram V. You're both in Norway, aren't you? Yeah. Right? Norway? Koma? Kayoma? Ghost Star Malik. First time I've caught the show since I've moved into university last Wednesday. Since I'll be a lot busier in the near future, I may not always be able to catch the show, but I'll be here when I can. Well, cool. Why don't you watch whenever you want, man? That's why it gets recorded, right? Is so that you can watch whenever and have it in the background while you're studying. Don't have me on actually when you're studying, because you probably won't get much studying done. You'll be listening to me jabber on about something stupid, and you probably giggle once or twice, and you have to go back and read that paragraph again. It's, son of a bitch, I already read this paragraph and I already highlighted it. I don't know what's going, So, but anywho, Ghost Starman Deluxe, stay safe and good luck in your studies. And yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're probably best just turning this off and not paying attention to me at all and just concentrating on your studies. Unless, of course, you're going for your doctorate in goofing off, in which case I'm a PhD. Evan Belleau, grats Ghost. What's your track? Dan 12222222. Hey Kris, Kris, I hope you and your family are doing well in the bad times. I don't know about bad times, but these are trying times. These are trying times that everyone going through. And when do you think you will see you on Ash channel? I don't know. I keep talking about getting in contact with Ash and setting things back up again. I just haven't gotten around to it. I've just been into other stuff, and then of course I think, and then I don't want to bother him, and then but I've been meaning to. When we haven't set up a date or anything like that, a play date. We haven't set up a play date. And now that his kids are going back to school, see, that's the other thing is, and here in Ontario, they're talking about actually bringing more restrictions back in because apparently we're seeing a rise in cases. Apparently, so they're talking about more restrictions. They're talking about closing things down. So it might actually, like this whole year, it's been very difficult, and it's but I mean, you got to roll with the punches. You got to roll with the punches, and it's all about keeping the public safe until there's a good treatment or a vaccine. We have to do what we can. Otherwise, the healthcare system gets crushed, and then you stub your toe, break your finger, whatever. You can't get into the hospital because freaking place is crowded with COVID people, right? So that's why. That's why these masks, washing your hands, all that. That's why it's all important, and you should, because it takes like less than a minute. You know what I mean? Like, it's all you got to do. It seems ridiculous that people want to turn this into something else that it's just a health concern. Like, duh. Ben Ellis, hello everyone. Hello. Chris Dilly. Dilly. Good day to the glorious name butcher. I had an idea, and I get into other things, and I get these really fun ideas, and but I've really enjoyed in Necromunda the corpse grinders and the aesthetic, and I've actually made plans. I've actually picked up materials and stuff like that. Once I start, I don't know, just wanting to switch gears into more terrain type of tutorials and stuff like that, something that I don't do a lot of. And there's a big project I have in mind. It's not a really huge project, but the one thing I'm waiting for is those frickin' tiles from Games Workshop, the Zone Mortalis tiles. Those frickin' things, like, I don't know, like, come on, Games Workshop, please, like, even if we do it on under the table kind of thing. But this is the kind of thing I'm talking about here. Let me switch over screens here. This thing right here, the Zone Mortalis floor tiles. I realize that there are other people producing similar things, but I want these. And my terrain idea, because it's for a Necromunda board, I want these tiles. I want 4 sets of these, and they're completely sold out. And they, I also have it, set to email me when they come back, and blah 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 blah. But anyway, I want to do a Necromunda thing. I'm really digging the corpse grinders. I have an idea for a corpse grinder piece of terrain. I've picked up like a majority of the pieces I'm going to need for it, other than the goddamn tiles. So, I want those tiles. So it's really the only thing holding me back. I realize that's really dumb, and but if I'm going to do it, and I want to do it the way I want to do it, I need those tiles. And there are third parties out there who are making approximates, and I mean, those things sell out every time. Those things are big sellers right now for Games Workshop, and I don't know why they're not rushing to produce more. Unless, of course, maybe they're not producing really that many, and they just sell right out because everybody's buying them, right? But either way, yeah. So, but as far as the corpse grinders are concerned, I had an idea of making the butcher's helmet. I thought that'd be kind of fun. But yeah. Anyway, where the hell am I? Ramv, working on my first knight, making it Iron Warriors 1. Loving the model. Cool. Oh, a knight. You're making Iron Warriors. Cool. Lots of metals, lots of hazard lines. Do it weathered. Do weathered. Get some rustiness, some streakiness. Just a little bit. Not much. Doesn't need it, right? Raziel, never fear. I is here. Paul, haha. I am real, but my sleep schedule is all over the place. Thank you for mentioning the Necron. Cheers. Yeah. No, that Necron was really great. I as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh wow, that's really cool. Like, and what a fun idea of taking, you know, pre-existing color schemes but moving them over to other factions. Really, really fun. It seems like such an obvious kind of concept, and I'm sure it's probably been done once or twice, but I can't think of anything in recent memory, and so yeah. Ben Ellis. Talking of He-Man, can anyone do a Slanesh take on Fisto? Dan12222, how do you feel about 3 different TV shows about Star Wars coming out? Do you think they're overdoing it? Here are the 3 shows: Untitled Cassian Andor series, Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and The Mandalorian 2. Now, from what I understand, The Mandalorian, the second season of Mandalorian, now I don't know, it's just rumors I'm hearing, but apparently it's troubles with that. Obi-Wan, honestly, the Obi-Wan series is unnecessary as far as I can tell. Like what stories are they going to tell within the confines of the character that do not change the character? See, because when you start telling stories, oftentimes characters grow, right? And what are they going to do with Obi-Wan? How are they going to have Obi-Wan go from, unless of course they're going to talk about when he is Padawan, when he goes from a small boy to becoming, you know, the Padawan. Sure, there's wiggle room there, but there's not a lot of huge conflict involved, although you can allude to a lot of stuff, but again, it's not necessary. Or his time where he's over watching Luke on Tatooine, and so he's in the desert. So what's going to be a whole season of him in the desert? Like, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't, like, it's unnecessary. It is unnecessary. It's the same thing with when they wanted to do the Boba Fett series, and then that I'm pretty sure that was what morphed into the Mandalorian, and that was better. You know what I mean? That instead of giving us Boba Fett, which is a character we really don't know much about, but has this huge following and has this huge amount of back history in novels and, you know, stories and stuff, that, right, like telling a story, it would not have lived up to anybody's expectation, and it would have failed, and people would have just poo-pooed on it, and you know what I mean? Like, but with Mandalorian, bang, we come into a brand new character we have known nothing about, other characters we know nothing about, but a universe we're very familiar with, and so it basically, the way its story structure is that it's not terribly complex. It's not a huge, you know, it's not going for, you know, high art or anything like that. It's just giving the fans more of what they love. And personally, I love The Mandalorian because I'm a big fan of the original trilogy when I was a kid. That's what I grew up on, and Mandalorian gives me more of that, and which is why I personally really like The Mandalorian. Now, if it was Boba Fett, first of all, you have to explain how he got out of that pit, and I mean, there's nothing canon on that anyway. So he died, right? Or apparently rumors are that he's going to make an appearance in Mandalorian, which again, they're going to have to explain how the hell he got out of that pit. The Cassian Andor series, like, is that one necessary? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think it's necessary. Again, we already know the end for this character. We know how he dies. So why would we want to know how he becomes a rebel? Who the hell cares? He's a rebel. He was a character who was along for a particular point in the storyline of this whole grand scheme of things, and he played his role. That story was the most pivotal point in that character's timeline. Going to Scarif and getting the Death Star plans to stop the Empire, and he dies. He sacrifices himself to achieve his goal. That's the peak of that character's character, right? And telling anything else is not really going to be that interesting. Other than, you know, I can't even imagine, like, what. Now, taking that actor and putting him into another Star Wars type of series, and, you know, and telling stories, sure, why not? He's a really great actor. I just recently watched Narcos, and I thought he was really good. He was really kind of a difficult character to really, you know, get behind. But I think that's the point, though, in that storytelling. But anyway, yeah, I like the actor, though. The actor's a really good actor. And in not Rebels, in the Cassian Andor series, yeah. But Obi-Wan and Cassian Andor series, unnecessary. They don't need to happen. Mandalorian too, yeah. Let's keep that story going. And the fun part with the Mandalorian is that the Mandalorian can keep going, and have adventures. And the baby or the child, he can stay that way for many seasons. Because he's the Yoda species, right? And Yodas apparently live forever and whatever. And so he could be a child for like 10 years, as far as 10 seasons, right? Or we can jump forward or back or whatever, right? So it's completely wide open. The Mandalorian is completely wide open. And if they're going to do more of these Star Wars series, don't take characters that are already pre-established and that we know specific points of. Same with same with Ahsoka. Ahsoka, I think if they do an Ahsoka series, it should be after Rebels, which is post-Empire, because that's where we basically pick up with her, is post-Empire. So apparently she's supposed to be in Mandalorian, and apparently this appearance in Mandalorian is supposed to be a jumping-off point for possibly a Ahsoka series, which would be interesting. I would watch an Ahsoka series because the character is very cool. And in fact, when you follow the character of Ahsoka throughout how she plays out within the Star Wars universe, she is almost the mirror of Anakin. And the Star Wars saga as a whole becomes the story of Anakin, which is the front facing of it, but also the mirror side of it is Ahsoka and the story of Ahsoka. And I think that's very interesting. And so yeah, there's still room to tell more story about Ahsoka in Star Wars, which would be cool. It'd be cool. Rezia, Hordak, Mentor Skeletor, villain of She-Ra. Oh, he was She-Ra? I thought she was He-Man. Either way, same thing. Saturday morning fuzzy pastel creatures. Night Warden Gaming, good morning, Monkey Lord and fellow monkeys. Good morning. Dean, Imperial Fist on Imperial Guard. Imperial Fist on Imperial Guard, yeah, why not? Right? Bright yellow armor with, white and black accents would totally work. Yeah, do it. And send me pics. David Vaughn, sup monkeys and Kris, sup. Dean, apologies, dyslexic, my awful spelling. Or my spelling is awful. No problem, Dean. Ramsey, I've started Imperial Fist, but found I hate painting yellow. Well, oftentimes when you hate painting yellow, it's because you're not priming it properly. That's often the very beginning, right? And oftentimes it is cleaning the models. Make sure you clean your models, get those mold lines down, then prime the model in white. Prime it white. You want it bright, you prime it white. And yeah, and just use like color like Everland Sunset, or even get the spray. You just put your models together, clean them up properly, and then use the Everland Sunset spray. Done. Then use or hell, you can use Wraithbone and then do the contrast method. You're done. Hell, I mean, if you're just looking to do them up for an army, but if you're going to spend your time on it, well then, like for me personally, I've answered the question many times. Yellow, red, black, white. Those are the four colors that people have trouble painting. And I've lost perspective as to why. Well, not lost perspective, but I know why people have trouble. And it's often because with brighter colors, they're not priming with white. With the darker colors, it is often how heavy a highlight you should lay down. Black is a very minimal highlight. And with white, it's oftentimes overshading. Using null oil to shade on top of a gray or on top of white, and it just looks like a mess. And I realize those are the conundrums that people face when painting those four colors. But yeah, I've answered them many times. I've done many tutorials on painting those various colors, and I'll probably do more tutorials on painting those colors. But yeah, they're not difficult, and yeah. Night Warden Gaming. Oh, it's truly Dr. Monkey Lord. Dr. Monkey Lord. Go Starman. Watch his way to the brush while taking notes. The Mephiston Red is the powerhouse of the cell. Wait, fuck. Yeah. Yeah. So what color would a cell actually be? Would it be closer to Mephiston red, or are we talking more Wild Rider red? David Vaughn, Canada is in wave 2 coronavirus. Yeah. And we're seeing an upsurge, just because schools and things. But I mean, like, they should have expected that. I mean, once everybody kind of starts trying to go back to a normalcy, yeah. I mean, it's just allow for it, and then I mean, obviously, as the weeks go by, is it still surging upwards? Then it's a real problem. Thing is, though, is like, once you start opening the doors back up to normalcy, people kind of get lax again. It's over. We can leave our houses and go back to normalcy. No. Just like many things in life, we have to remain vigilant. It's vigilance. And I think most of you would understand this because we often have this 40K-ness background, that we have to remain vigilant against these things, against the virus. Even though we don't see it right now, or your city or whatever might not have a whole lot of new cases, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't take much for this stuff to just like a wildfire and take off again. And that's because when people get lax and stop using precautions and stop, that's when these things take off again. And so you have to always remain vigilant. And unfortunately, remaining vigilant is not in the culture. It's not in the culture, because the culture is selfishness, really. But anyway, Dean Tabone, regarding yellow, base pink, sure, yeah, base pink is fine. I've seen that one. That one just pushes yellow, especially when you apply it on top. It pushes it towards more of a warmer orangey brown look. I mean, it's color theory. I mean, it's you could also use blue too. Push it towards greens. I mean, if you wanted, or even purple. Purple's a really great one to use with yellow to shade, because it pushes, because they neutralize each other, right? And so if you use a little bit of purple, thin it way down, and apply it like a shade wash on yellow, it gives you a brown, because they neutralize each other. Technically, they should give you a gray, but in pigment it goes brown. In light, they neutralize. But anyway. Aaron Seach, there he is. Howdy, Kris. How come everybody keeps spelling my freaking name wrong? Like, are you guys just trying to trigger me or what? And my monkey brethren, happy Saturday. What is going on? Me, new ogre tyrant model, and Hrothgorn and his man trappers. Man trappers. Ran into a few of those. Goes to Starman Deluxe, studying biology at University of Nottingham, by the way. Only a short tram ride from the most holy destination of the order. Yeah, cool, man. I'm envious. So does that mean, Ghost, that if I, hook you up, or, well, if I hook you up, will you hook a brother up, is what I'm saying. You hook a brother up? Evan Belleau, Dr. Monkey Lord Esquire. Yeah, okay, we can go with that. Done. Yeah. I was trying to recall what the ending letters were. MD Esquire, ESQ. Bone Ripper. What's up, everyone? And how is Kris this fine day? Kris is good. We're hitting a warm spell as we enter fall. We're in fall, I think, now. And after the show today, I'm heading over to the neighbors. We're gonna play some games tonight. I think we're busting out Talisman. We usually do family gaming night kind of thing, and we're probably gonna take a dip in the pool. They have a nice heated pool, so yeah. I know. Oh, it's so terrible life he lives, right? It's not my pool; it's my neighbor's pool. Jesus, think I got money for a pool? No. Evan Belleau. Awesome, Ghost. I just graduated in August with a bachelor's degree in secondary social science education. Cool. Oh, right. You already told me that. James Kent. Oi, jeez Louise. Damn monkey scared the crap out of me. Marting 169. Thank you for the follow, buddy. Thank you for the follow. Follow? The follow. Where was I? James Kent. You're going to build the processing plant? That's a great idea. I didn't say that. Did I say that already? Did I tell people already what I was planning, the piece of terrain I was planning to build? I've already got the parts and everything like that. Like I've got, well, just about everything I need for it. And I just want the tile so that I can attach everything to, right? That's all I want. It's, my demands are not large. Like, I don't have big demands. Dan122222, I would love you and Ash and Owen, do another HeroQuest kind of game or something like that, as I found it fun to watch. You know what? I'm sure when the new HeroQuest comes out, I'm sure we'll probably gather and assemble and do one of those. I would like to. Again, I've got to contact that man. I've just been, into my stuff as he's into his stuff, and we're all into our stuff, and of course, the social distancing, just doesn't help, right? And yeah. Anyway, Evan Belleau, Kris, while unnecessary, the Kenobi story follows the same aging principle as the child you talked about last week. Until Ewan gets to Alec age, they can put him in the role. Right, but I mean, like, what stories are they going to tell? I don't care. They can replace Obi-Wan Kenobi with any actor they want, because they can either CG over it, deep fake, whatever the hell you want to call it. They can just put that face on top of that other thing. Hell, they can even resurrect poor old Alec Guinness and give him what's Buddy's name? They resurrected him for Rogue One. Oh my God, I can't remember the actor's name now. I know, what kind of fan am I? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So, they could just do that, right? But it's unnecessary. What stories are they going to tell? He's in the desert. He's watching over Luke. He's hanging out nearby. He can't go far. He can't, like, realistic. Peter Cushing, thank you, Knox. He can't go far. So, like, what are they going to tell? Like, what was like his life for like 20 years, damn near 20 years, is pretty dull until he encounters Darth Maul. But then he offs Darth Maul. Sorry, spoiler, anybody didn't know that one. But I mean, come on, I'm sure this whole room knew that one. That's the high point of his exile. He kills Darth Maul, but we already know that. We already saw it. Like, again, what are they going to tell? That doesn't ultimately, fundamentally change what we know of Obi-Wan. Because in storytelling, when you have, characters, there is a growth of the character. There's a beginning point for the character. There's, a life-changing moment, and then that person is fundamentally changed at the end. Typically. Anyway, I just read Ragvy's comment. Dan1222, do you feel we need another Game of Thrones TV series called Last of Dragons? Are they just winding the wave because of how we got did? Whoa. I never watched Game of Thrones. I know, shocker. Again, like I said, I'm more sci-fi than I am, fantasy, right? So Game of Thrones, I really wasn't interested. And then, like, when it first came out, people kept telling me that it was like Spartacus, that HBO series, and the aesthetic of the show copied 300, the movie 300, and I watched a couple episodes of that, and I was like, oh, snore. And I mean, like, sure, it had lots of TNA and stuff like that, but that's not really why I'm not a 13-year-old kid. I don't, I'm not. I actually care about story and character development and acting. And so that's why I never really got into Game of Thrones, because everybody kept telling me that it was like that. I'm like, I don't fucking want to watch that. That sounds like shit, So, yeah, I didn't. And now, again, the way I've avoided it. I wasn't avoiding it. I just never got into it. And apparently the way it ends is very disappointing. So why would I want to watch? Why would I invest my time to watch this just for the ending to be shit? Man, that kind of stuff pisses me off. Like, I've talked about this movie in the past, but Law-Abiding Citizen. Law-Abiding Citizen? Yeah, that was a movie. It was Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. I'm pretty sure it was Jamie Foxx. Yeah, it was Jamie Foxx. The two of them. The movie was really, really fun. I was getting into it, and Gerard Butler's character was actually really good, and Jamie Foxx is actually really, really great. He's usually pretty great in whatever he does. But anyway, but it has such a crap Hollywood ending that it completely ruined the movie for me. And yeah, no. Go Starman Deluxe, TBF in the old expanding universe. Boba Fett escaped the Sarlacc pit. I think one of the other bounty hunters rescued him or something. Yeah, like, okay, so he gets rescued out of a pit that apparently is so dangerous that Jabba's just chucking people in that, but apparently it's pretty easy to get out, I guess. I don't like, see, like, it just ruins the fact that somebody can get out of the pit, especially if it's really easy to get somebody out of the pit, just ruins the whole danger and peril that the characters were in Return of the Jedi, right? Because it's a Sarlacc pit. Oh, they're never coming out. This monster's going to eat them, and they're going to be consumed for 1,000 years. And, well, you know what I mean? Like, it completely, that would change that level of danger. Because if Luke fell in, well, then all R2D2 has to do is come fly over, drop a cord, pick him up, and get him out, right? Like, it would just completely kill it. And that's why they should never do it. And that's why Boba Fett has that really shitty death, because Han Solo is luck. You know, because Han Solo's lucky and he's a bad guy. Boba Fett's a bad guy. And, you know, yeah. Again, completely unnecessary stories. Rezia, I'm so tired of Star Wars these days. Kind of beyond caring what they do. Yeah, I'm almost kind of there, but not. I don't get as fired up as I used to, but I think that's just, you know, age kicking in. And, you know, but I've enjoyed Mandalorian. Mandalorian was fun. You know, I mean, you don't take it too seriously. You don't take Star Wars too seriously to begin with, and that's the thing, is I don't take Star Wars, I don't take Star Trek, I don't take Lord of the Rings, I don't take any of these things seriously, even though they are things that I grew up with, especially Star Wars. I'm not that precious about them, so, you know, they want to change it, fine, whatever. Again, especially as I've gotten older, I'm more concerned about telling a decent story. And Mandalorian is kung fu in space, and that's fun. And I'm behind it. You know what I mean? I'm with it. Ninny plug. Yeah, Obi-Wan's story is totally is told basically. We don't really need more. No, exactly. We know. You're right. I mean, like I said, like, if we get more of when he was a Padawan, before he's a Padawan, or, you know what I mean, we're telling that kind of story. Okay, sure, might be interesting. Who knows? But we already know the rest of the character, right? We already know his high points. So, you know, unnecessary. It's unnecessary. Go Starman Deluxe. When does the second season of Mandalorian start? Early October, I believe. End of October, I believe. Ramby. Well, my fists are Uriel yellow as finished. Cool. Yeah. I mean, you know, but again, were you priming them white? Were you priming white? Because if you wanted bright, there you go. Aaron Seach, Den of Imagination, recently posted a video showing Imperial Fist Marines with the paint scheme where their armor was transitioning to Alpha Legion colors. Badass. Cool. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those transitional videos. Not transitional videos, but the Marines transitioning, you know, like you see like the energy pattern running. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Joe K, what's your impression on the HeroQuest Kickstarter? I must say I'm very disappointed. Really? You're disappointed? I don't know why. Because apparently the game itself is unchanged. It's just the cards, the artwork, and the models. The models look cool. The terrain looks cool. You know, I like the idea that if you back, it's not a Kickstarter though. It's a pre-order, right? they're just gauging interest. That's all it is. They just want to make sure that their costs are covered before they go into a production run. But anyway, yeah, it's essentially apparently. I don't know. I mean, we nobody's seen the new version of the game, but apparently it is unchanged from the original. So, as far as gameplay is concerned, which is cool. But I liked that with the people who back the Kickstarter, you get like, because I like how I watch Bardic broadcast. Fix your mustache. Why? What's wrong with my mustache? I can't see myself. It's pointing forward. I know this side, for whatever reason, points forward sometimes, and sometimes it's all in the way I initially grab the mustache, because sometimes they'll both point forward, and it's like I've got like mandibles or something. Why? What's wrong? No, it's not. It's nothing. It's the shape of my head, man. I mean, you know. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about that. Sorry, I was bored. So anyway, yeah, with the Kickstarter, I like that the heroes and Bardic broadcasts, he had called it. I had watched his thing that apparently the elf was going to be female. That was his guess on one of the big changes, and he was right. But they also took it a step further, which I thought was pretty cool. Is that the fact that the dwarf being a male, wizard male, elf female, and barbarian male. But if you back to the Kickstarter, you've got a female barbarian, a female dwarf, a male elf, and a female wizard. I like that. I like that because it keeps it open for the players who want to play as either type of character, just to represent them and, you know, to really get into it. Because again, HeroQuest, it's like a very simplistic role-play game, and you know that's the whole point. Is like you're being fantasy. So for somebody who wants to be a female character or a male character, they can do it. You know, and they can be a barbarian or a dwarf or an elf or, you know, whatever. And I like that. I like that. I thought that was cool. Where the hell am I? I don't even know. Ghost Starbright Deluxe. Did Kris just ask me to hook up? I have no idea what that sentence was meant to mean. Hook me up. You're at Nottingham. If you know what I mean? Like, you know, if there's some new stuff, you know, coming out or whatever, or if there's, you know, exclusives or whatever, you know. Because honestly, I don't have a Games Workshop near me. I have to go drive 2 hours. Whereas apparently it's just a short tram ride for you. That's all my point was. Not that I'm saying that we're going to hook up and, you know, bros. Bro down. Disflux. Hello, Kris. Hello. Ramvi. Wait, Darth Maul's dead? Yeah, spoiler. Yeah, when we start talking about shows and stuff like that, yeah, sorry, I always end up saying it, and then, oh, yeah, spoiler. I always say spoiler after I drop the info for anybody who hasn't seen anything. Anyway. James Kent. Also, we know Kenobi cannot die, so there's no real sense of danger no matter what situation he's in. Therefore, no tension, no interest. Exactly, James. Yes, exactly, right? We know how Obi-Wan dies, or moves to being a Force ghost, whatever. We know that that's how it happens. So, if he gets into a situation where, you know, oh my God, he's going to get shot in the back. No, he's not, because we know how he dies. We already know that. Oh, is it Darth Maul in the background? He's looking for him. We already know that. We know that he kills Darth Maul. You know what I mean? Like, we know these pivotal plot points in his timeline. Do we really need to know what he had for breakfast when Luke was 5 years old on a Saturday morning that Luke was supposed to go out and tend to the garden, and he was on a ledge watching Luke, and you know what I mean? Like, do we really freaking need to know that? No, we don't. It's irrelevant. I mean, it's irrelevant. Disflux. What stories? I'm sure they could come up with a sitcom involving Kenobi squabbling with his Jawa and Tusken Raider neighbors. Now, if they did something like that, how to get along with Jawas and Tuskens, and being a lonely old man in the desert, yeah, that would be kind of funny. Or he takes on a roommate. Obi-Wan's roommate. See, I'm already laughing at that premise. Now, that would be funny. That would be funny because, you know, you typically in comedy sitcoms, you don't have a lot of tragedy in the things, and characters in sitcoms. Well, the characters didn't really develop in sitcoms. Nowadays, it seems to be pretty common that characters develop throughout a sitcom. Well, I just recently been watching Modern Family. I never watched Modern Family before. If you've ever watched the show, it's a really funny show. It's like 11 years on, and the characters in the very first episode to the very last episode, they're pretty much the same. There is growth there, but the basic structure of the characters that they are, even though that the characters grow older, they're still relatively the same, which is kind of interesting. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I like sitcoms. They're funny. I like to laugh. Shock, I know. Raziel, I'm way more excited for Dune than anything Star Wars related. No, I'm excited for Dune too. Oh yeah. Dune? Oh yeah, I'm excited for that. Evan Belleau, only if they decide a laugh track on the Kenobi sitcom. Yeah. Do it like a classic Married with Children type of show. Obi-Wan comes home every day from, stalking Luke. He's got roommates, he's got one of those hammerhead dudes, he's got a Jawa, and he's got a sand guy, and I don't know. Something. I don't know. The whole premise, I mean, like, it just, or it could be like, what would be hilarious? A Star Wars Tatooine show that revolved around the cantina. And it's kind of like Cheers, but in Star Wars. And Obi-Wan makes an appearance every once in a while. Or it's about Obi-Wan, maybe he temporarily bought the cantina. I don't know. Obi-Wan reminiscing about being a Jedi way back in the day as he's cleaning glasses. Oh, man. See, like, that's the only way that I would watch a Kenobi show, is if it was telling something like that, and it wasn't really, serious. Trencher 1375. It's the opposite way around, Raziel. It's mafia that are redressing an old school nobility with loyalties, hierarchies, and betrayals galore without the veneer of legitimize off course. What the hell are we talking about? Oh, Raziel, I'm not a fan of mafia type stories and fiction, and to me Game of Thrones is literally just a mafia story redressed as some weird fantasy, weird version of fantasy. Sure. I have no idea. Ghost Starman Deluxe. Game of Thrones just seemed like a shitty porn movie with not too much plot to me. Is it? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who hate Game of Thrones, right? I've never really seen a lot of Game of Thrones hate. It seems to be the general consensus that everybody loves the show. So, other than how it ends, apparently. But I am not inclined to watch a show that apparently people who are real fans of it and who love it were very disappointed in that ending, apparently. I don't know. But again, it's not a selling point on me now to watch the show. Trencher. I hate Kickstarter, but if they sell gender variations on characters when HeroQuest hits the stores, I buy both. Well, if you back the pre-order, just go to the pre-order page. You'll see the sculpts. They're very cool. They look cool. I like them. And I like that the heroes are both genders. I like that. Ghost Starman Deluxe. I remember when Darth Maul died. My favorite part of Phantom Menace. He didn't die in Phantom Menace. He was only cut in half. He didn't die. He was only cut in half. Apparently, you can survive getting cut in half in Star Wars. Very easily, apparently. It's barely an inconvenience. Dean, thanks for the show and advice. We'll have to watch it and catch up. Happy to hook up with you in the UK, sir. Well, Dean, yeah, we'll hook up. Oh, man. Anyway, Coconut Man, episode 315, with your host and his mustache, Kris Mandabello. Belleau. Sounds like a mandolin. Or Mandalorian. Oh, ooh, there we go. Andrew Nets. We need to see when Obi took a dump in a cave. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, like, again, an Obi-Wan show, I don't know why people are clamoring for this Obi-Wan show. I mean, I love Obi-Wan as much as the next Star Wars fan, and I like Ewan McGregor, and, you know, I mean, yeah, I like to see Ewan getting work, but as Obi-Wan, I don't know. It just seems unnecessary. It seems if he's gonna play, cameo roles as Obi-Wan, okay, I'm fine with that as well. I'm fine. But a whole series on Obi-Wan, it's unnecessary. Again, we already know all the pivotal points in his life. Well, not his life, but as Obi-Wan, right? Anyway. Trencher, when Obi-Wan show... with the Obi-Wan show, my greatest fear is that they're going to try and explain how he became to be the character we know and love by having another character teach him how to be Obi-Wan. Yeah, like, it's just... It's unnecessary. An Obi-Wan show is unnecessary. It doesn't need to happen. And everybody who's clamoring for it, I don't know what level of mental dysfunction you are, but it's oh, geez Louise. Saint Just Germany. Thank you for following, Saint. The monkey scared the crap out of me. The monkey always scares the crap out of me, especially if my speakers are up high. Holy kermoly, he's just... James Kent, excited for Dune, but the choice of their typeface means it will now be known as Dune in my household. Okay. Aaron Siege, how about a series about Obi-Wan and his less successful brother Jeff Kenobi? Jeff. I'm Jeff. You know what? Yeah. I'd rather watch Jeff Kenobi. Oh, shit. Jeez Louise. Wing Wong guy. Thanks for follow on Twitch. Almost said Discord. I don't even know what platforms are what anymore. Monkey scaring the crap out of me. Trencher, I skipped the rape scenes in Game of Thrones, but the other 8 minutes was great. Yeah, I heard there's a lot of rape. Reminds me of Blazing Saddles. You got rape on here twice. I like rape. Having two genders will also let players select two of the same class. Very nice addition. Yeah, that's right. You can have two wizards in your party. That's true. I didn't even think of that. I was just thinking of the 4 characters, just, pick male, female. But yeah, you could pick a male wizard and a female wizard. Why not, right? That's interesting. That kind of changed up the dynamic of it and everything. Yeah. Trencher 1375. Best thing about Diablo 3 is that they let us choose genders. I missed that in previous Diablo very much, but I played those games a lot. Yeah, cool. I never really played a lot of Diablo. I played the first one, and that was it. Yeah. Rezio, Kris, what perhaps is your favorite Rust technique? There's a lot of ways to do it for sure. Yeah, I'm working with one I like for now, but curious about your hot take. My hot take is two schools of thought. If I'm doing it quickly, or if I want to go for realism. If I'm doing it quickly, I break a color down into a shade wash and apply it in that fashion. Just take an orange, break it down to a really thin, and apply it, and either just do it as a whole or be very deliberate, and then just do a darker brown and then an orange, and then bang, I'm done, right? Quick way, fast, dirty, or dry brush silver on top of it, whatever way. It's a really, really fast method. If I'm going for realism, it's pigments. Pigments are the best, because it gives you that microscopic texture on that surface, and it looks like rust on the surface, especially when you just kind of build it up and really create some rusty barnacles on the surface. It looks really, really cool. So that's the hot take. Trencher, people like the idea of it more than they would like the actual product. They see the gif of young Kenobi going, "Hello there," and they say, "Yes, more of that, please." Yeah, it's a meme, and memes should not become series. Look at Snakes on a Plane. That's the greatest example of that kind of thinking gone awry. Wing Wong guy, 3-letter. What's that? What did you type? What did you type? Did you type something bad? Are you trying to insult me? I think you're trying to insult me. I think you're a bot. I think you're a bot. Or a damaged individual. One of the two. If that's the case. James Kent, damn predictive text. The Dune typeface makes it look like Dune C. Dune C? Dune C? The Dune typeface, yeah, I mean, it was an aesthetics choice, and I'm sure it was chosen to draw on the people who were our fan of the movie, the first movie, or, well, technically the second movie, well, technically the only movie, technically, but anyway, to draw on that appeal of people who enjoyed that film, that they'll go, oh, Dune, right? And then, jump over, and they'll be right into it, right? So, yeah. Reziel, yeah, the reason the Obi-Wan show has any excitement is just because people want to see Ewan McGregor back in the role. For better or worse, they aren't thinking that far ahead. Yeah, I like Ewan McGregor. I like Ewan McGregor as the Obi-Wan. I mean, sure, you could, in cameo roles, in small bits, have Ewan back, right? Yeah. Like, again, Star Wars, Obi-Wan is a supporting character. Does he really need a full series? Not really. He's a supporting character. Star Wars is not about Obi-Wan Kenobi. And we already know that character's major plot points. We know how he enters into being a Jedi. We know how he becomes Anakin's master, teacher, whatever. We know the fight between him and Anakin, right? We know he's in exile. We know he's watching over Luke. We know he kills Darth Maul twice. And we know how he dies and how he continues on as a Force ghost and becomes one with the Force. We know how he knows the knowledge to become a Force ghost, right? Yoda just says, I have lessons for you. And that's it. And so, just from that simple line of dialogue, we know. Right? But it's there nonetheless. So, yeah. And in Rebels, we know how Yoda knows about the becoming Force ghost. Really, realistically, what would be an interesting show, although probably in the category of unnecessary, is Qui-Gon Jinn. Or young Yoda. Those would be interesting shows. A young Yoda in the Old Republic. Stories of the Old Republic with a young Yoda. I think that'd be fun, right? Even though Yoda being a supporting character, not about Yoda though. Yoda is a supporting character. Because we know how Yoda meets his end. In his bed. Going to sleep. Yelling at Luke. Maybe Luke killed Yoda. Did anybody ever consider that? Maybe that Luke pushed Yoda into death by constantly berating him with questions? He was an old man. He just wanted to frickin' eat his soup, walk around, play with his snakes, right? He didn't want to be bothered with this crap. Luke kept pushing. Who's my dad? Who's my dad? Is he my dad? Who's my dad? Who's my sister? Who's this? Why is this? And blah, blah. You know what I mean? Yoda was just like, fuck it. And then he died. It's just, yourself you will. Fuck it off. You know what I mean? And he goes, like, yeah. Anyway. Ghost Star Alex. I would be down to see Qui-Gon Jinn Obi-Wan show. Yeah, well, in their youth. But I mean, like, you could get Liam Neeson to voice it, but I mean, you'd have to do the digital re-aging kind of thing, and I don't know. After a while, I mean, I'm sure we'd get used to it, but at first it'd be like, a young Liam Neeson? I don't know. Trencher, the first Diablo was best, yeah. Raziel, Diablo 2 for the win. 2? Yeah, 2 or 3. I don't know. It never got better than Necromancer. Aaron Seach, better yet, a pseudo-reality show where every episode is 2 different stormtroopers patrolling Mos Eisley, kind of like a cop show. Yeah, I remember there was a short video on that, imitating stormtroopers going around, and it was like cops, yeah. And basically we see how Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru get killed, It was a good bit of comedy, but again, it's been done. Do we really need to see more of it? It's a joke. How long could that joke run, right? And again, it's been done. Thermicus, fun fact, and quick change of subject. Then back to regular unscheduled topics. The Tau Orca dropship was produced years ago by Forge World, but the master mold broke. Okay. That just killed that completely. Tau Orca dropship was produced years ago by Forge World, but the master mold broke. So what? Where are we going with it? It was just that was just a chunk of information you wanted to share. Okay, thank you for sharing. I'm at a loss now. I don't know what the hell we're doing. Reziel, Obi-Wan is my favorite character, really. Sure, he's a lot of people's favorite character. He's not my favorite character in Star Wars. No, my most favorite character, the character who I get behind and who I like, is Han Solo. I'm the character you most identify with. Yeah, it's Han Solo. Yeah. Ernie Jr. Should I be using acetone on my airbrush? Your thoughts? I've not pure acetone, but I've used my lacquer thinner. I've used mineral spirits. I've even used turpentine. And the Patriot 105. I use the Badger Patriot 105. I've used that, and I've done it for years. Lacquer thinner, yeah, especially when I'm spraying like any of my enamel-based paints. Yeah, that's fine. I know they talk about the seals and everything like that, corroding the seals. I have not run into that issue, but then I'm very religious about cleaning the brush. So, and whenever I am running those harsh chemicals through the brush, I immediately clean. I immediately do a flush, and it's not like I'm spraying for an hour with lacquer thinner. Lacquer thinner has amounts of ketone and like acetone and stuff like that. They're all byproducts. They're chemically similar, but anyway, yeah. And I use a Patriot 105, and that's held up for years. And I've done this. I've treated it like that for many years. And I mean, yeah. I mean, since we're on the topic, right there. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, I always keep my cap on it. I always keep my protective cap on it. And yeah, you can see how nice and clean it is. I don't know if you can see that here. Gotta make sure but you see how the cup, how clean that cup is. And now this is brushes. I've been using this for 6-7 years. I can't remember, but I've been using this brush for a long while. And as long as you take care of it, I have changed the needle though. I have changed the needle at one point a few years back, and this needle actually it's got a slight bend to it, so I probably could change this needle as well. But yeah. Just take care of your tools, and they'll last a long time. Especially with like airbrushes. You spend a lot of money on them. Now I realize some people have more money than sense, but me personally, I mean, like, I didn't have a lot of money when I was getting into this hobby, and so I adopted a mentality for taking care of my equipment very early on. Whereas I imagine some people, don't view it that way. To me, that seems very wasteful. To each their own, but to me, that seems very wasteful. Especially how much money, because when we are not treating them with care and respect, essentially, all it does is encourage that overconsumption. And I'm not about overconsumption. I'm very anti overconsumption in those regards. As far as almost every facet of life, I'm totally against overconsumption. So yeah, despite me being a big fat dude. That's from overconsumption, alcohol. I'll blame the alcohol. Thermicus also finally got hired on somewhere making decent wage, so monetarily support incoming after a couple of weeks. Cool, thank you. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Big thank you. Always much love to my patrons. Again, I have varying tiers, and of course, we have fun. Trencher. Yoda is an interesting character since he is seen as all-wise being, but was strong, and Luke was right. Dart could turn back to the light. You got to be typing on a phone. Yeah, I mean, we know how Yoda dies. We know was a Jedi Master, and we know all those things. But telling an Old Republic story with the main focus on new characters in the Old Republic, but with Yoda as a background character or supporting character, where stories could be told around, to kind of, give some insight into Yoda's early life and how he becomes. Because one thing that often gets referred to is that Yoda, there's a very aggressive sword style that apparently Yoda is part of, and that's he passed it on to Qui-Gon, or he passed it on to Dooku, who passed it on to Qui-Gon, which passed it on to Obi-Wan, would pass it on to Anakin, which basically led to why Anakin becomes the chosen one and turns to the dark side ultimately, because they were utilizing a bit of darkness to their shit, something like that. I can't remember what the hell it was, but I'm sure somebody out there, one of you, knows very well. But anyway. James Kent. Oh, did you have a name for Way the Brush Marine chapter? No, we haven't come up with a name. Funny that you mentioned that, James. We were talking, was that yesterday? Day before yesterday? Yesterday, I don't know. I can't remember what one it was. We were in Discord coming up with a Marine. I was struck by the idea. I'm sure we've talked about it in the past a few times. Doing a Space Marine chapter, and in the Way the Brush kind of color scheme. And so I was, visualizing. Basically, I was looking at the website, the main colors that you perceive from the website, kind of thing. What is the color palette for Way of the Brush, which is a red, black, white with yellow, yellow and white being the accents. So really, it's predominantly kind of a black and red kind of thing, because oftentimes it's a black with a red text, but with the white accent, right? So that's the typical fashion, which how I gauge the color scheme. Although some people, like Stinky, perceived it more on the yellow side of things, right? So, sure. I mean, it's completely open to interpretation. I mean, you show me a color scheme that I get that vibe, then yeah, we'll run with it. So, I mean, it's completely wide open. As far as the name for it, no, there's no. I mean, we had all sorts of names, but yeah, I mean, no, nothing settled. And I have been kind of tempted to bust out a Marine and play with a color scheme just to try, just to see, just a tip, just to see how it feels, just see how comfortable we are. We inch it in. I am a gentleman. I don't ram it home all at once, inch by inch, like a gentleman. Raziel, Kris, do you think you might be interested in working on a good-sized creature caster model? I have wanted to pick up one myself. They seem like a lot of fun to paint, leaning toward Nurgle type. Yeah, pick up creature caster. Yeah, I like creature caster. Those guys are great. Their sculpts are really, really fun. I like that there is some divergence from a more GW-centric type of vision for things, and I like that they're going into this other direction for their own aesthetics. I like that. I encourage it. I endorse it. I support it. I have 3 creature caster kits. Yeah, because I picked up the Spider Demon, which was in Crystal Brush 3 years ago. It was a while ago anyway. Is my mustache akimbo again? Anyway, but I also have. I bought the Zinch one. The Zinchian type one. It's got like the tentacles all coming around it. I really like that sculpt. That's a fun one. Because I bought the Spider Demon, which is kind of a Slaneshi type of vibe. I got the Zinch one, and then I have another one, which I don't know if I've shown, but I started work on it, and I just have not gotten back to it just because, I don't know, but this is the base I've been working on, and it's really, really fun. But right now, I'm just not 100% behind the use of color on it so far, and how I want to go about it. So I'm probably going to pull some of these tones darker. Some of these tones, I think it's going to go darker as we go up, just a bit, but just a slight value change. But yeah, and I've been working on this kit. I can't remember what the heck this one is called. Anybody knows the name of this one? This is the base, but it's a big demon, winged demon. But anyway, yeah, Creature Caster, yeah, pick one up. They're a lot of fun. And, they're a nice break from, the usual kind of stuff. Although subject matter is kind of familiar, but, yeah, they're fun. Razia, with acetone in the airbrush, I know you just want to be very careful because if you have any plastic or rubber parts that might be damaged or destroyed, gotta check that for. Yes, definitely. Yeah, because you are atomizing the chemical, and so yeah, if you're not working around an air hood or anywhere where it's gonna draw that nauseous chemical out, that toxic chemical, yeah, you definitely are going to have that free floating in your workspace. And yeah, any of your models, that is going to settle, and it's going to, yeah. I was wondering why. It was a few months ago. I was spraying with enamels. I was working on something. I can't remember what I was working on. I think I was doing these chrome models, my chrome Necrons, because the chrome is an enamel base. And yeah, I was flushing. But I was doing something, and then there was like on my airbrush, I seen like there was this layer of something on the airbrush. And I was like, what the hell's that? And yeah, it had to have been from the settling of my lacquer thinner in the air. Because I don't have an air hood in my office here, and this is where I do most of my work. And I know, I realize, right? I wear the protection, but I don't have the air hood. I need the air hood. I should get the air hood. Because I can just set it up and have up my window and up my window. Yeah, put it up my window. You know what I mean. What time we at here? Holy Carmolis, we're already 1:15. Really? Jeez Louise. Paul, I try to take care of my brushes as I find ones I like and want them to last in case I can't find them again. Yeah, definitely. One of my favorite brushes, on the subject of brushes, one of my favorite is the brown-handled Citadel master ones. They were the heavy metal master or something like that, and I have two of the brown-handled ones. My favorite. They got a nice long bristle. They got a good snap to them. There's a real nice flex to them, and yeah, they're just really fun brushes, and they're for glazing. My favorite. The Artist Opus brushes are really great. I use those all the time. In the videos you see me painting, I'm only ever using an Artist Opus #1. When I'm doing the eyeballs, base coating, highlights, blends, whatever, yeah, it's an Artist Opus #1 I'm using. So anybody who's wondering what brush I'm using in a lot of these tutorials I'm painting, yeah, I mean, like, you can tell I use this brush a lot. Look at that band of accumulated grime. That's a grimy handle because it's supposed to be a solid white, right? But yeah, that's because that's where I'm often grabbing the brush, right? And oftentimes if I'm dirty or if I've got paint on my hands, yeah, it builds up around there. So yeah, it's a solid band of schmutz. Let's see here. Can you guys see the color? Oh yeah, you guys can kind of see the color. See, there's just varying tones of brown, reds, and there's probably blues in there, and yeah, it's just, yeah. That's just because that's where I hold the brush. That's oftentimes where I'm holding my brush. It's pretty much just behind. There's a slight curvature in the brush. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but there's a slight curvature there, and that's where I often hold my brush, is in behind that curvature, just behind where it's at its thickest. Sometimes I will paint from about that far away if I'm like coming in, yeah. Sometimes not often, but sometimes I'm like, I see some painters hold their brush like up by the ferrule. Sure, it's personal preference. It doesn't really mean anything. Because I've seen people like, long time ago, who hold their pencils, right? And they hold their pencils like really close to where, you know, the wood and the lacquer end, right? And they hold it by the pencil like there. I've never understood that one. Me personally, just my hand size, I like to grab the brush by the thickest point, which is why you'll often see brushes, especially like, you know, oftentimes these small types of brushes, they'll often have that big grip part in the handle, right? Like even these army painter ones, they have, you know, they're three-sided, and they got a nice broad opening to them. And these are actually pretty comfortable, and they actually form-fitting. You see how, like, if you hold it like a pencil, right? You'll see it conforms to that shape very, very well. And yeah, and then they have both synthetics and sables as well. Pretty sure they still have sables. They might be mostly synthetics these days. I don't know. But I got a bunch of these Army Painter ones. Yeah, I like them. They work fine. Now, this is a synthetic brush I use, but this guy only gets used for enamels and, you know, alcohol-based acrylics, you know, stuff like that. That's the only reason I keep that one around. Most of the time, like I said, most of my painting is with an Artist Opus number 1. And that brush, because it comes to a nice fine point, I do fine edging, I do eyes. It's one brush. I only ever use one brush to paint. It's one brush. One brush to rule them all. Anyway. Benchun. Hi, Kris and Monkeys. Hi. Thermicus. Kris. Chris's yep for life in general. Take care of your tools and they will take care of you. Exact tip for life, yes. Yeah. That's the philosophy transfers over, and that's a philosophy that I hold true to life. Yeah, exactly. You take care of these things. You take care of the tools that you need, especially if your livelihood depends upon them, right? Take care of them. And now, yes, this is hobby type stuff for a majority of you, but the theory still holds. And even though you might not make a living from this, the hobby allows you to continue to do your living, because a hobby time is your relaxation time, right? So as long as you can sit down and play with your little plastic doodman and paint them and, you know, have fun and enjoy and, you know what I mean, and zone out and, you know what I mean, and just put the cares of the day, you know, it was a stressful day and I just wanted to put some Space Marines together. I want to put a little bit of color down, whatever it is, right? That's your relaxation time. That's your time to just unwind. And so taking care of your tools, right, will not have any unadded or unwanted negative side effects, right? So, for example, if your brushes are all akimbo, well, every time you're going to sit down and get some painting done, and all your brushes are bent and the hairs are splayed all over the place, it's like, well, what the hell's going on here? And then now you're all wound up. It's supposed to be hobby time. It's supposed to be relaxation time, and here you are all wound up, right? Whereas if you adopt the mindset to take care of these things, to clear your paint pots, to take care of your brushes, to take care of your workspace, to take care of, you know what I mean, and be conscious of what you're doing, you'll be much happier when you get the time to sit down and actually paint and assemble and play, and, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to enjoy yourself a whole lot more when you are more conscious of what you're doing. All right? I mean, is this making sense to anybody, or is this completely foreign language and, you know, it doesn't make sense? I mean, because if it doesn't make sense, then I'll stop. No, I won't. I'll keep going. Because eventually, if I say it enough times, you dum-dums will pick it up. Listen up, dum-dums. Hero7. I can't tell if that brush is just that worn or if Kris is a dirty boy. Both. It's both. It's both. It's worn, and I'm a dirty boy. It's worn out because I'm a dirty boy. I don't know where it's going with any of that. It sounded really weird. Creepy. I'm being creepy again. That's really what it is. Trencher. It looks thinner there too. That is a well-preserved brush. Yes, one with the brush, yeah. You're talking about the Artist Opus one? Yeah. Oh yeah, it comes to a nice point. Because I wash them, take care of them, condition them. I mean, you guys know the mantra. You just have to practice it. And I do practice it. For the most part. I don't think there's a whole lot of stuff that I say, like, you know, I tell you guys, I encourage you guys to observe and not observe myself. I don't think there's a lot. There might be one or two small things. Oh, the air hood thing. Because I don't fucking have one, man. Come on, I'm not made of money here, people. and also, I mean, like, my space is limited. Benshun, Kris, have you got into 3D printing yet? If not, any plans? Resin printing has really made me enjoy painting again after feeling burned out. I would like to get into 3D printing. I do not have a 3D printer. I do have plans, but they're just plans. Realistically, resources, i.e. money, you know, that's it, really. I mean, if I had, you know, resources, like, you know, for example, if I had a shit ton of patrons, goals, right? We're talking goals earlier. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I totally have a 3D printer. I probably have like a PLA printer and a resin printer. No, SLA? PLA? Oh, frick, I can't remember. You know what I mean. The resin printer and the stringy plastic printer. I'd probably have one of each, because there's some stuff that I really like for resin, and there's some stuff that I have ideas that would be great in, you know, larger formats, small format, large format. I'd like to have a printer for either side. Unless, of course, you know, you go for, you know, swing for the fences and get like a big resin printer that, you know, with a big bed on it. But typically most resin printers are all small, like 6-inch size beds, whereas like you know, the other PLA type printers, they got larger beds on them. And I'd like that because I have a lot of ideas on what I'd like to do in a larger format, but also have some ideas for small stuff, like a lot of the wargaming stuff I'd probably do in resin. But anyway, yeah. But as far as plans, yeah, I mean, it's the only thing holding me back is resources. You know, I need the resources. I need the resources to achieve a lot of these things. One of the goals for my patron is if we hit a certain point, I would definitely open up an actual studio and open it up to the public so that you guys could come and visit me and possibly game, or maybe we'll do classes, and you know what I mean. And I was, you know, I putz around every once in a while looking at commercial space in the area, and there's one that's actually like just a bike ride away from me, and it would be pretty good. It'd be pretty good. First start, anyway. Then there's another one that's about 20 minutes away. It would be really good. It's a little bit off the beaten path, especially if, you know, there's people that are coming to the area for, you know, like for example, like if they were coming to visit Mini Wargaming, you know, and, you know, if they wanted to come and, you know, hang out and play a game, or, you know, do painting, or, you know what I mean, and just that kind of stuff. Yeah, it'd be really, really, really great. But we're not there yet. But that's a goal. That's a goal. I'd like to do that. I'd like to open it up to the public so that we can do classes, or even do games, or both, whatever. But a nice big studio space is really what I want. I want a nice studio space. Not just for this stuff either. I mean, for all my endeavors, essentially. There's another one I saw. It was not far away, but it had no plumbing. I was like, kind of bullshit place is that? Like, it was beautiful workspace, but it had no plumbing. Like, there was no toilet. I was like, that's crazy. Like, who the hell's gonna use that space? Like, put a damn toilet in the place. But anyway, Trencher, one brush to rule them all, one brush to paint them, one brush to bind them into darkness. Ghost of Starman, I know, fucking nerds. If you say enough random stuff, eventually you'll say something of use. Infinite monkey cage and all that. Yeah, exactly, right. And I've been doing this a long time, and yeah, I'm sure I've sent many of this stuff many times ago. But yeah. Rezio, Kris, do you have a video that shows you cleaning your brushes after you work? If not, please make one. I need it. Rezio, I know you've been listening to me for a long time, and I can't believe I have to say this, but I've done brush care videos many times. And in fact, wait, let's see which way I'm going here. Yeah, that way. I'm gonna put a card right there of a video. But in fact, it's a fresh tip, or maybe it was a quick tip. I know I've done a quick tip a few times, And I'm pretty sure I've done the fresh tip on it a few times. And in fact, one of the Getting Projects Done video, I actually went to great lengths and demonstrated live what I typically do. But yeah, there is a fresh tip on it. Just search the fresh tips, man. Brush care. Just type in brush care, and you'll come across my video. You'll probably come across quite a few videos because, you know, yeah. Anyway. But I can't believe, Raziel, I gotta tell you that I have brush care videos. Are you daft, man? Thermicus, Kris has one from his former employer on YouTube about clean brush. Yeah, it was a quick tip video. I've done it like a few times for quick tips, and I'm pretty sure I've done it for fresh tips as well. I was gonna look it up, and I stopped for some strange reason. Hold on, real quickly here. Let me see if I can find it. I'll put it in the links. Hold on. I'll put it in the links. I'll even put that son of a bitch in the links. Hold on. Let me find it. Gotta look around my screen here. My mic is often in my way. When it was, could have been more than a year. Okay, I gotta go back a bit here because there's a lot of Necron shit here. Since Indominus dropped it, so much Necrons. So much Necrons. I had fun with the Necrons. I'm still having fun. I haven't finished assembling them all yet, either. Yeah. I'm trying to think, what the hell? Thumbnail. I'm going by thumbnail. I'm not really reading the title. I'm just kind of clicking on the thumbnail. And of course, somebody's probably going to beat me to it by the time I find it. Just a tip? Was it just a tip? Unclogging plastic cement, airbrushing and paint pots. No, damn it! I guess it has been a while. Paint and plasma glow, shields, marble effect on shields, checkers. Man, I got so many fresh tips, man. Man, I got the freshest tips. Somebody's out there like, what the hell is he talking about? Molotov markers. Yeah, that was a fun one. Corpse grinder. There it is. Oh, it's brush soap. Brush soap, really? I should have labeled that one better, I think, because it's really just about brush care. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna put it in the description or in the chat. I mean. There we go. Okay, so that's it. That's I'm talking about brush soap in that video, which is probably why it doesn't really have a lot of views, because I pretty much labeled it incorrectly. Should be brush care, but yeah. And I'm sure I don't think that's the only one I've done on brush care either. I may have done another one. Hold on. Let's go back, because fresh tips, I'm already over 100 videos on fresh tips. You know, but I guess that makes sense, because 52 weeks in a year. I've been at this for a year, independent, and I do 2 fresh tips a week. So yeah, I guess it makes sense, right? Did the water versus medium for thinning. I did 2 videos on that. Oh, one for opaque colors, one for metallic colors. That's right. My fresh tips, I mean, like, again, like, I don't understand, like, you know, people ask these questions. I mean, just peruse my fresh tips. You'll find them. You'll most likely find it. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it was just a tip video. I'm still perusing here. Hold on. No, because I have tutorials. I do just the tips. Just the tips I do as a short format video, and fresh tips is longer format. And then of course, getting projects done is just open ended, really. It's just whatever I'm working on, right? No, I guess just the tip I didn't do as a. But I have demonstrated on getting projects done, cleaning the brush. What video that was, I could not tell you. I could not tell you. But anyway, yeah. Oh, crap. Oh. Oh, excuse me. Shiro. No plumbing quickly because a crappy issue. Or becomes a crappy issue. Go Starman Deluxe. Yeah, the people who made the that office must have been taking the piss. Toilet jokes. I get toilet jokes. Raziel. Sorry I asked because I can't honestly keep track of all the video topics. I consume a massive amount of YouTube content and stuff gets lost or forgotten. Well, it only gets lost or forgotten if you're not employing it. If you're not utilizing the information that you learned, right? So start using it. Make taking care of your brushes a part of your hobby time, right? So if it only takes you 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, to clean a brush, take care of a brush, preserve the brush, maintain that tip, maintain your brushes, maintain your tools. Even getting this, if you use paint pots, clearing out the gunk in behind the cap periodically. Doesn't have to be done every time, but whenever you do notice that the cap starts to feel a little funny and doesn't start to close properly, clear that gunk out. That's all it takes. Clear that gunk out, and the paint pot will last forever. Again, these products will last a long time if you take care of them. Inquisitor, that vid got me to buy some of the soap. Yeah, that's the soap I like. There are many brands out there, and I'm sure they all do a fantastic job. Some people have complained about certain brands. For me personally, I've always used Masters brush soap. I use it for my oil paint brushes. I use it for my miniature brushes. I use it all the time, and it's good stuff. And the stuff's been around for a very long time, so products that have been around for a long time, they're time tested, and yeah, I even used them back in college days. That was 20 years ago, so been using the soap for a long time. Thermicus, the brush soap has been a godsend. Works fantastically. Yeah, I like it. It's my favorite brush soap, and I love the smell. The smell, yeah, the smell. Let's take a whiff. Right, Masters brush soap. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Where's my big one? I've got a big one I use for my big brushes. It might be in the other room with my other brushes. I have a big one. It's a big puck size. They even sell it like a pail. You ever get like the big margarine containers? Yeah, it's like in those big sons of bitches. It's like, yeah, it's a big freaking pail of soap. It's huge. It's huge. All right, time we at here. Yeah, we better get to some emails. I do have a few to do. I like when I click a window and nothing happens. There we go. Okay. Yeah, let's do some emails. If you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down because here it comes. Yeah, let's do this one. Yeah, let's do this one right here. Email time. Email time. This one is from our good buddy David Vega. My first send pics. So pretty short email. Title, just sent pictures. And this is a Ghost Rider. Looks like flamey fire base with a orc skull on the, oh, it's like a Ghost Rider but orc. That's cool. I like it. I dig it. I'm into it. I mean, it looks more work in progress, so I will withhold opinion. Or, I mean, like, okay, for example, I realize that that's not really the point, right? It's to help. So, and I mean, judging from the other picture here you sent me, you seem to be fairly competent with your painting, so I will add that with that Ghost Rider, the fire, in the future, I would bring that back a bit, and also where you are creating that fire, go brightest color to at the base or wherever it's making contact with something, and getting darker out towards the ends, right? I liked it, but you definitely could, sculpt it a little bit more in a controlled fashion, rather than just kind of doing a big blotch of cotton on the thing. But also take the opportunity to also add it on other elements of the model as well. Especially if you're doing the cotton effect, because the cotton effect looks really great, especially when it's done, very in a controlled fashion. Yeah, but yeah, definitely keep going. Abaddon, and I can't remember what this sorcerer dude is. See, your work with the fire here is very consistent, and it looks good. Abaddon looks really cool. I dig the colors. I like that little purple tone in the undercloak, and yeah, it's a little blurry, so I can't quite say that, like control, but the control looks good, and I see there's highlights. Highlights look decent enough. Just keep going. You're going to get better and better as you keep painting. Keep painting. That's the biggest one that will, you'll see improvements in your painting, is just keep painting. Keep painting. Early on as a painter, early on as a painter, don't get caught up in, laying down complex highlights or trying to work really tight blends and like these kind of things. You'll get there. Everything within its due time. Concentrate on the 3 fundamentals: assembly, priming, base coating. Staying nice and neat. You'll find that with base coating, mastering your base coat, laying down a nice smooth base coat looks fantastic, especially when you work nice and neat. You lay down a nice, smooth, even, controlled base coat, it'll look fantastic just on tabletop, especially when you finish a model, and you do the base and everything like that, right? Very controlled. See, these guys here, for overall, they look really great as a collection. Individually, like when I look at one individual, right? Like I could see, like, the base doesn't look finished there, the toes, right? Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush. Take your time. I realize you probably do some gaming, so you probably want to hurry up and get them ready for the tabletop. That's fine. And ultimately, if you're happy with your paint job, great. That's really all that matters, is that you're happy with them. But if your goal is to become a better painter and really bring the wow factor to the tabletop, then yeah, you're gonna need to slow down and concentrate on the fundamentals, getting the things evenly coated, cleanly, paying attention to all the details. Because even when you just lay down a nice even base coat on an entirety of a surface, doing all the fleshy points, and even picking out the little spots and giving them their color, the model looks complete. Even though all you've done is laid down a smooth, even base coat, the model looks done, and it looks good for tabletop. We're not talking competitions here, for God's sakes. Come on, let's not get ridiculous here. And if you're brand new to this hobby and you want to paint like you see in the magazines or on the websites, and you see these people who've won awards and stuff like that, that doesn't happen overnight, and there is no easy way to get there. As far as I know, I could be completely wrong. There might be a fast way to get there. I have no idea. The only way I know of how you get from brand new to the hobby to painting award-winningly, right, is time. It is time. Yes, there's some skill, but skill is time, right? Athletes. Yes, there's some natural talent that comes there, but practice, and more practice, and then even more practicing. And painting is the same way. It's a skill. You practice. That's it. It's not a particular brush. It's not a particular paint. Not a particular technique. Although the technique is a skill base, but it's not a brush. It's not a paint. Get that out of your head right now. Okay? Oh, I could only do it if I had this particular paint. I could only do it if I had this particular brush. No. Master the tools you have at the time. Then once you realize that you have outgrown, then move on to those other tools. Right? Time. It is time and practice. I realize that these are kind of foreign concepts for some individuals these days, but that is what it's going to take. It's time and practice. Don't be in a big rush. And if you get to practice a lot within a year, yeah, your painting is going to be tenfold greater than when you first started. And imagine the next year, and you just keep practicing. Yeah, and there are some painters out there who you can see 4 years into this game that their painting is worlds beyond what they were when they first started just 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, right? It's practice, 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 practice. I wish, when I was younger, that I was chasing a lot less tail. I imagine where I would be. Ashiro, learning that any mistakes can be fixed was the most valued lesson. Couple that with patience and you'll do good. Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's another big one, right? Is practice, 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 practice. And of course, not being afraid to fail. That it's not going to turn out the way you want it the first time. And of course, chasing perfection is a false idea. Get that out of your head now as well. There's no such thing as perfection. It doesn't exist. So stop waiting around for it. And inspiration, stop waiting for inspiration. Just start working. Start doing it. Start practicing. Practice, 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 practice. Don't be afraid to fail. Try something new. Don't be afraid. Right? No fear. Fear is the mind killer. And yeah, just keep practicing. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. It's good life advice. And just keep swimming. That's what we all need to do. Remain vigilant. Just keep swimming. Remain vigilant. And just keep swimming. Remaining vigilant is actually a really good bit of advice for just about anything in life, really. Because really remaining vigilant means that we're conscious of the moment. We're living in the now. When we are vigilant, we are constantly vigilant. Oh yeah, we're constantly living in the now. Because you're always observant of everything around you. Because you're vigilant. It's a good word. I like the word vigilant. It's a good manly word. Vigilant. And it's just it's just good advice. Remaining vigilant. And that's what we have to do right now in the real world with this whole fucking pandemic, is remain vigilant. Wash your hands, don't touch your face. Gotta go out, wear a mask. It's remaining vigilant. Pretty goddamn simple. And it's really good advice. Because yeah, you remain in the now. When we remain vigilant, we're very conscious of ourselves and things around us. When we are vigilant. James Kent, episode 3, whatever. The perils of chasing tail. You know what? Yeah. I forgot we haven't even named the episode yet. So yeah, I'm gonna run with that. You win, James. You win. Oh, these titles of this show. People who are brand new to this show, they're gotta be like, what the hell is he talking about? And I'm talking about the perils of chasing tail. Yeah, I imagine it's kind of like that Family Guy episode where if they they imagine their lives if they hadn't been chasing women, and yeah, it's kind of like that. It's just and I sometimes it's kind of like that. Just thinking about where would I be if I wasn't chasing skirts, and because like I've mentioned it before, like any time that I actually got painting done, and I was gaming with my buddies, and I was really into this hobby. Was when I was between girlfriends at the time, when I was younger. That's when I really knuckle down and start mastering my technique. And I pretty much think I plateaued somewhere around late teens or early 20s, and especially when I started got married and started a family, and I really wasn't that concerned with improving my painting. I was just getting painting done, and it was a really slow pace. I was still into the hobby, and I'd game periodically, and I was getting friends into the hobby, and I was still getting friends into the hobby even all this time that I was with family and having small children, and I was even painting with my son running around. He was in diapers, and all these things, and can't remember where I was going with this point, but anyway, so life finds a way. Life finds a way. Kris, you're gold blooming. Anyway, Thermicus, another good tip: you do your best work when you are in the mood to paint. Don't force it. Yeah, definitely. You'll do I don't know about your best work. Hopefully every time you sit down and you're conscious of what you're doing, it is your best work. But don't force it. Yeah, that's a big one. It just kind of don't chase it, right? Just do it. Just do your work. Be conscious of what you're doing and do your work. Yeah. Frederick Kumo Nilsson. Stoic is another good word. Stoic, yes. If we're gonna slap labels, I personally identify more with the Stoic type philosophies. If you're gonna throw me in a category, I probably fit within that category, Stoic, and all that it implies. Trencher 1375. Once I got depressed over how bad my minis looked, so to reminisce over the best miniatures I ever painted, I took out an old box from the closet and looked at them. I got such a shock of seeing the paint job that I had done from those old figures. It was a lot worse than I remembered. LOL. I had not gotten worse. I had gotten better, and my standards had gotten higher. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh man, here I am, running my mouth, talking about improving your painting and getting better and doing all these things. Oh yeah, when I was younger, my habits were bad, and I developed into them. It's when I'm talking about this kind of stuff, I'm talking about skipping steps and to help you transition into a better painter much quicker. Taking my advice, you'll get better faster. Me, took a very long time. But mind you, I didn't grow up with internet, whereas a lot of you, especially you younger ones, you've lived within this age of internet, and you've known nothing but internet, and you can learn very quickly. But the thing is, though, I view the internet as a tool. When I'm on YouTube, it is a tool. It is a means to an end, and I use YouTube and the internet to learn and improve and entertain. And if I can accomplish both, great. But for me, the internet is primarily tool. I watch it to learn about things. I'm not into cat videos or dog videos. I'm not into, fail videos are hilarious sometimes, but like these general kind of what the internet has become, these garbage type of things, these trivial. I'm not into the trivial. I'm not into those. I'm into much deeper things. And for me, YouTube is very learning. And if I can't find it on YouTube, then I obviously go to other sources. But YouTube is, because I'm also a visual thinker, I also, when I'm looking for things, I will watch it, right? And I will see how it's done. Versus, reading manuals. I'm not an abstract thinker. Abstract thinkers can read things and it's in their brain, whereas a visual thinker you can just show them it and it's in their brain, right? Whatever. But anyway, it's those kinds of thoughts. And But for me, yeah, YouTube it's not a source of entertainment. And in fact, most of the time, yeah, I'm just more interested in learning. And I guess that's the biggest difference, because I see my kids, and the internet is something else, because they've grown up with the internet, whereas I didn't. It's a tool. I see it as a tool, but apparently it's not. It's not just a tool. It's like many things, I suppose. But anyway, James Kent, I win by default this week. Yeah, you won by default. The two sweetest words in the English language: default. James Kent, stoicism is my favorite ism. Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% agree with everything in it, but it's pretty darn close. I mean, again, if I subscribed it to a particular philosophy, yeah, it would be stoicism. Trencher, I see a lot of younger painters learn quickly using techniques they learn on the internet, but we got the luxury of making our own mistakes and learning from those. Oh, definitely. And that's why a lot of painters who are probably closer to my age, very individual, because our learning was very individual. Whereas people who are, learning now, their styles look like a particular painter, because that's who they learn from, right? They don't have their own they don't have their own voice, right? And yeah, because they didn't have to find their voice. That's it. They didn't have to find their voice. The voice was already out there, and they just, okay, and went for it. Not to say that's a bad thing, just what it is. And yeah, whereas the cats who are around my age, yeah, we had to find our voice because the information was hard to come by, especially those of us who did not have a lot of resources to dedicate towards this kind of stuff. Yeah. Mind you, though, when I was a teenager, though, I mean, like when I was really getting into this hobby, I had a job when I was 13, 14, and yeah, 15. When the hell was I? Yeah. Anyway, I had a steady work, steady income. Yeah. And yeah, it paid for my hobby. So I had the resources to put behind a lot of this stuff. But yeah, I know there's a lot of people out there who don't, or are really young, and rely on mom and dad to provide a lot of this stuff, right? So yeah. Trencher, I hope the new generation won't forget to experiment and try inventing new techniques. Yeah, that's a hard one. I mean, me personally, I mean, if I had to equate my painting style, it would have to be very like who was the one I wanted to emulate was Mike McVeigh when he was producing all the guides for Games Workshop, because a lot of my hobbying was very Games Workshop. And yeah, I was consuming all that information from the guides that he was producing. So what I know about painting largely comes from him, right? And yeah, where is he now? I think he still does miniatures. I think he's got a company producing games, aren't they? Something like that. Anyway. Whereas now, it's a huge plethora of people that are learning, and yeah, I see so many people painting like so many common people, and again, the people who grew up without a lot of internet, yeah, they have a very individual voice, and the people who are very young and still find their voice, yeah, their painting looks just like somebody else's painting. Yeah, because it's hugely influenced, and it's still relevant. It's only a few years ago, right? And so as far as finding like new techniques, I think that's going to be very rare to find a new technique, because how we paint as miniature painters is heavily based in traditional painting. So if you know all about traditional painting, there's nothing new. It's been like that for hundreds of years. You're talking about an art form centuries old, 500, probably even older, commonly. And as we know it today, it has not changed. Not a great deal. paint to canvas, taking pigment, like other than the nature of the pigments, acrylic paints are a relatively new thing, but the mechanics of it all still the same. Brushes still the same, right? So there is nothing new. So in miniature painting, I mean, like, you know, if you have a solid art background, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, there's nothing new in miniature painting. It's applying paint to a surface. Non-metallic metal has been the rage for a long time. It comes and goes, it waxes and wanes, but yeah. And again, all that is just it's imitating a non-metallic. Most of the time, when people are talking about non-metallic metal, they're talking about it in an illustrated form, like 80s typeface, right? A lot of 80s logos. That's the kind of non-metallic metal we're talking about. Now, I've seen some other artists out there, fantastic painters, who are employing it more in a realistic fashion, which is great, and it has a lot of the occlusions and, you know, reflected surfaces and stuff like that. But oftentimes, you know, that is employing, and I've said this before, it's employing a 2D solution to a 3D surface, a 2D solution to a 3D problem, right? I realize that the human brain only thinks in 2D solutions. And I guess with the sculpted form, we need to think of the three-dimensional solution, possibly even the fourth dimensional, right? Let's stretch for that. So when somebody starts creating the fourth dimension, or even the third dimension, really solid third-dimensional solution to painting miniatures, to how we paint the miniature, to what we're painting, the subject matter, you know, these things. That's when we're going to see an evolution. Will we? I don't know. But I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure it's out there. We just have to remain vigilant. Where the hell am I? Thermicus. Kris, I'm finding we have all human knowledge available to learn, but we are missing wisdom, knowing what to do with that knowledge. True. Yeah, it's kind of that old joke, right? You know, knowledge is knowing tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing it doesn't belong in a fruit salad. Right? That's the difference. Wisdom and knowledge. Yeah. We lack wisdom. We do. Definitely. Ashiro, learning from the internet and applying it still leaves plenty of room for error and improvement, though. Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. 100%. It's a tool. That's all it is. Time is what's going to make you a better painter. Practice. Time and practice. Taking the time to practice and not being afraid to fail. Because a lot of times people live in their heads, and this is, it seems to be a very common occurrence these days, especially within this community, that so many people are in their heads and they're stuck there and they get into this cycle of thought and it becomes this feedback loop and they're paralyzed by their own thoughts, right? That seems to be a very common occurrence these days. And I honestly don't have really any good advice as far as getting out of that, because, I mean, like, it happens to me every once in a while, but I usually just come out of it. Again, vigilance, being aware, self-aware, but not to the point of, you know, oh, is this? No, is it? No. Just observing, being conscious of the moment, you know. Although I did a lot of drugs when I was younger, though, so maybe that helps. Not that I'm advocating that. I have to do a fucking PSA now. Kris does not advocate doing copious amounts of drugs. Anyway, Trencher. Oh yeah, very individual. That is the problem. They don't develop their own style, find their voice. Great analogy. Yes, definitely. Definitely. That's a lot of what I see these days in YouTubers, in people who are posting on Instagram, Twitters, everything like that. nobody's having to struggle. Nobody's having to struggle to find their voice in this hobby. Yeah, that's really it. Whereas those of us that are older or even before us, oh yeah, tons of mistakes, tons. Looking back, it's like, oh, it's embarrassing. But that's what made, that's what built the knowledge. It's the only reason why I assume any of you guys tune into me, because I've made so many mistakes that, I have a very wide knowledge base of technique and products, just because I was in a unique position to experiment with many different things and products, and demonstrating different techniques, and it just built my knowledge of everything, realistically. James Kent, also us old guys painting up epic scale infantry squads. That was a tough education. Yeah, I gave up pretty fast on trying to always paint the chapter symbols on the shoulder pads. Yeah, that didn't last long. It was base coat and a shade wash. Not even. It was prime and black, and then just a fast dry brush, and that was enough to get my infantry done. Frederick Kumo Nilsson, I'm struggling with myself as I try to paint and also draw and such. I have a lot of good ideas, but I'm having trouble translating them from any idea onto paper in the mini. Any tips? Just start doing it. Tips. If you have an idea, okay. Now this is, my daughter was drawing yesterday, and I was actually sketching along with her, and this concept of brainstorming seems to be lost, where basically if you have an idea but it's not quite solid enough yet, right? It's like a jigsaw puzzle, and all the pieces are floating around, and all of a sudden a couple of them start locking together, and you go, oh, okay, wait, yeah, I got something there, and then all of a sudden, and then another piece, and then, you know what I mean? But when you're living up here, you're not producing anything, right? When you're completely stuck up here, and as an artist, you have to just take this goddamn implement, whatever it might be, a paintbrush, pencil, piece of chalk, whatever it is, however you're going to make your mark, right? You take that implement, that tool, okay, and from your brain to this tool, to whatever surface you're going to leave your mark on the world, and you brainstorm out ideas, and you start playing with the form of what it was up here. And it's like, no, was it this? No, it wasn't that. You're going to fail a bunch. That is fine. That's fine. And you just start brainstorming out the idea. That's a big one, is brainstorming. And you just throw out all those ideas, and you start committing them to actual physical form, right? You stop living up here, and you start committing them to actual product in front of you. Yes, that works. Yes, that works. No, what was I thinking there? Oh, who knows? We'll save that for later, though. Yes, that works. Nope. Yes, I like this. Wait, that's too much there. And then all of a sudden, and it starts to become something solid, and it starts to take form. And that is how you're going to get out of it. It's how you're going to get out of it. Is you have to start committing to the idea and start bringing that idea forward. Is it 100% in your head? Impossible. It can't be 100% in your head, because you would not have any trouble committing it to a physical form then, if it was a completely solid idea in your head, right? Because you would just simply go and bang, there it is, complete, done. It's a done piece. I'm happy with that. That's exactly what I had envisioned, and put it forth. No, because no artist's brain work like that. The brain is a bunch of pieces, and they go dunk, dunk, and all of a sudden two of them come together, and you go, oh yes, I get it. Okay, let's start playing with that. There's this other idea. I think this might work. And then once you try it out in reality, and it's like, oh, wait, no, that doesn't quite work. Okay, we'll take that back out, and we'll try this. Maybe we'll alter what this was, and we'll try it. Oh, that works better. And you have to brainstorm out these ideas. You have to just start throwing these concepts out there and start playing with them. And yeah, there's going to be a whole shit ton of failure in that. But that's good. That is good. You need that. You need to fail at all those things. You need it. If you're serious about being an artist and being a creative, you need all that failure. You need it. You have to want it. You have to love it, and you have to crave it. You have to fail at it, because from all of that failure, and especially if there's tons of failure, that means that success is going to be all that better, all that much better, all that much more better. That's a bad sentence, but maybe I should have thought about that further. But anyway, I think you understand what I'm saying, though, is stop living up here and start committing those ideas down, even if it's just a quick, oh, wait, what about this? And then try it out. Oh, well, okay, we'll hang on to that. That's why it's always good to kind of have a notebook around all the time, and so you can kind of quickly sketch out an idea, something special, especially if you're inspired by something, you see something that's, what if this was this way? What if that was that way? Right? Yeah. But that's really the first thing I would say, Frederick, is stop living up here and just start doing. Start doing stuff, and do not be afraid to fail. Perfection is a false ideology to follow. It doesn't exist. Perfection does not exist in any facet of reality. In any facet of reality, perfection does not exist. And especially anything that any human can create, it doesn't exist. It's a falsehood. It's a false idea. Stop chasing it. It doesn't exist. Especially as you mature as an artist, you'll realize that it's done. And especially if you're a commission artist, where you're commissioning actual artwork or painting miniatures or whatever, it's just done. And you're happy with it, and you just shove it out the door, and you just give birth, and it becomes its thing. That's a creator. Inquisitor. I just told a kid yesterday not to do something. Look at me. You want to be AFU like me. AFU, I don't know what AFU is. All fucked up? I don't know. Nathaniel. Hammer and chisel leaves marks on any surface for eternity. Well, almost eternity. Again, eternity is kind of like perfection. Again, eternity I don't think exists. Because we know, we already know that if we make our mark in stone, eventually time does wear it down. We know that. We already know that. Nothing is, it might be billions of years, but it's not infinite. It might be a very long time scale, but it's not infinite. Nothing is infinite as far as we understand. Our universe may not be infinite. There might be a definable edge to it. There definitely was a beginning, right? Or not definitely, but our best evidence points to there definitely was a beginning, right? So, yeah. Anyway. Thermicus. Kris. Hated public speaking growing up. Went into the Navy, and the job I selected required public speaking. My early attempts sucked on ice. Over time, I got better and more confident, so anyone can improve in any situation with time and persistence. Yes, persistence. Practice. Yeah, definitely. Nathaniel, all right, very long time. Yes. Sorry, I know. My OCD kicks in like that. It's like, attorney doesn't exist. It's like perfection. Perfection doesn't exist. Life becomes a lot happier when you realize that these ideals, these made-up bullshit ideas, aren't real. And when you start concentrating on the real, you live in the now, you are a lot happier. When you start being more vigilant, and you're vigilant against these false ideas, these ideas that don't make a lot of sense, you find you become a lot happier. In my experience. Truth. When you start accepting truth. The harsh reality of truth as well. because this reality is beautiful and horrifying all at the same time. But once you accept that, yeah, you typically are. I mean, if you can handle it, if you can't handle it, then yeah, keep lying to yourself. But anyway, all right, another email. Email time. Maybe that'll have to become the email jingle. Email time. This is from James Ken. Afternoon, Kris. After last week's talk of toys, I felt the need to have a little play at boring a color scheme. So this is more of a test piece than anything, but I think the Incubi Darkness Gold combination has now become a scheme I will use on something in the future. A reminder that inspiration is everywhere. Take it easy, James Kent. And James, you are absolutely correct. You are correct, sir. You are technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. So, immediately, okay, you know what? Can anybody guess? Can anybody guess what is going on here? What is this color scheme inspired by? And the person who other than James can tell me, you win my respect for the day. Just for the day, though. Come on, who can guess? I'll putz around here for a second. Old Man Logan. Hey, Kris, sorry I missed it today, but happy to catch at least an email or two. Yeah, what time we at? Holy shit, we're at 13 minutes after 2. We're in OT, people, so we got to... Trencher, Black Panther? Are you kidding me? Is that Black Panther? I don't know. No, I don't think so. No. We were talking about it last week. I don't know if you caught the show last week, but yeah. We were talking about color schemes, the old toy lines. Okay? That's a hint. Come on. You freaking people, I swear to God. If I could come to every one of your houses... Okay, you know what? I'm going to set that as a Patreon goal. If I reach a certain point, I will drive to each and every one of your houses and kick you squarely in the pants. Imagine that as a Patreon goal, right? I'm going to drive to every one of my patrons' houses and kick them in the pants. Like, what kind of fucked up logic is that? Trencher, Destro's Guard? Is Destro's Guard? I don't know. Actually, I'm not familiar with Destro's Guard. Destro, sure. James Kent, I'm not allowed to guess. No, asswipe, because isn't this your... Yeah, James Kent, this is emails from you, buddy. What are you talking about? I sent the email, but can I guess on what the inspiration was? I was going to say Jean Grey. Yeah. Well, we talked about that in the last episode. Trencher, I don't remember what we were talking about, but there were his guard, and I had to figure. Okay, well, I'm going to have to quickly search. Well, not quickly, but Destro's Guard? Okay, you might be correct, because it might be this color scheme, because I'm sure the color scheme was transferred over to other things. But no, this is Scarlet from G.I. Joe. This is Scarlet's thing. Is it not? That's what I thought it was. I thought this was Scarlet. I love it. It's great. Is it not? Is it Jean Grey? It could be Jean Grey. I don't know. Because I'm sure the color schemes, play out on other surfaces and such. But, yeah, this is fantastic, James. I like this. And I think it... Treacher. Aaron Siege, Cobra. Yeah, it's not Cobra. It's fucking Scarlet. Yeah. Nathaniel, Mask? No, it wasn't Mask. Old Man, bring it, Kris. My door is always open. Just be ready for my unbreakable crotch defense and counterattack. What? Nathaniel, Scarlet. Scarlet is orange and gray. Oh, it is Jean Grey? No. Treacherous since I thought it never had to say. Yeah, I thought it was Scarlet. Because when I saw this, I thought it was Scarlet. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me pull up G.I. Joe Scarlet. G.I. Joe. No, I mean, like... I mean... James, this is James's model. And I mean, like, obviously the inspiration was obviously his. But yeah, I mean, okay, well, this is more of a blue-gray here. But see, the more the original here. Hold on. See, I thought the inspiration was that one on the right. Now, is there a picture from the cartoon? Hold on. See, I thought it was more of Scarlet from G.I. Joe. You gotta be careful. I don't have safe search on, so I do have to be a little bit careful of what I'm looking at. Yeah, because I was thinking more like the cartoon, right? You see on here with Destro and Scarlet on the left. Yeah. So I thought he was busting it out old school like this, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it is Jean Grey. Is it Jean Grey? I can't see the chat right now. Hold on. James can't. But Scarlet and Jean Grey look remarkably similar. Aaron, Destro's guard. Okay, well, Destro's guard. Okay, I have to quickly look up Destro's guard now. I can just copy and paste the chat. Fuck, I don't know why. Oh, I'm so bad at interneting. I'm bad at this. Destro's guard. They're black and red. Vert defert. Yeah, Destro's guard are black with the gold and red. No, that's not Destro's guard. No, because the Scarlet has the red plume on her head, and she has the dark gray and gold or brownish elements. But James, you haven't said whether or not. Whether it was, yeah, Scarlet was the one, was some quick fun. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Scarlet is the inspiration for the paint job, which I think is really cool. I think it's fantastic. I approve of this. Yeah. So that was the inspiration. Scarlet. G.I. Joe Scarlet. Because we got on the subject last week about color schemes, drawing inspiration, and of course, drawing inspiration for G.I. Joe color schemes into 40K stuff, right? And somebody had mentioned taking G.I. Joe color schemes and doing a Scion force, which I thought was really cool. So I'd love to see how that plays out. That'd be really fun. And yeah, that definitely would have to garner some sort of reward, I would think. But I think this is fantastic. And you know what? It works. I think it works as far as the color scheme is concerned. And yeah. So bravo, James. Bravo. I like it. That's fun. And, you know, yeah. Fun is fun, right? Fun is fun. Holy crap. Coleman just dropped a whole bunch of picks on us. Hopefully we'll get to them all. There's no hoping. I mean, either I do get to them or I don't. I save it for next week. No, we'll get to them. Trencher. Okay, you are thinking the red plume is like her hair. I get it now. Yeah, that's the color scheme. She's got red, right, and then browner tones, and then the blue-gray kind of tone going on the body. It's not a one-to-one thing. It is just the color scheme is inspired by, right? That was the point, because we were talking about how the Space Marine chapter, Sons of Medusa, that color scheme, that reminded me of a G.I. Joe character. Just like we were talking earlier at the show today, how Paul had done a Necron as a Night Lord scheme, right? Whereas that Night Lord scheme on the Necron reminded me of Hordor, or whatever the hell his name is. Hordak from the He-Man, Master of the Universe, right? Or from She-Ra. The same thing. They're both the same universe. But anyway, how it reminded me of his color scheme. And that's like from the freaking 80s, man. It's an old ass color scheme, and yet, boom, there it is right in front of you. And you wonder, subconsciously, the people who created the Night Lord scheme, were they influenced by that design scheme, that color scheme, right? Again, art, it just kind of, perpetuates itself, and inspiration, and, of course, yeah. But anyway. So, taking ideas from established color schemes, especially for a lot of us old cats who are heavily influenced by our sense of nostalgia. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like doing a Destro color scheme, right? Like Okay, hold on here. Let's pull the window back up again. Let's go here, and let's go with that. Yeah, the actual figure. Let's have a look at that. Looks like a new version of the figure. Is that the old version? Yeah, this looks more like the old version, the original version. Okay, so imagine doing a Space Marine color scheme like that. So red cloaks, black armor, gold accents, red center chest, but chrome or metallic helmet. It's all Destro. Imagine a whole Space Marine chapter that's Destro. Wouldn't that be fun? Imperial Guard. Done in, what is this? Viper Guard, I think they're called. Right? Something like that. That's actually a pretty cool piece of art. I like that. See, the bad guys always look really kick-ass. It's hard not to like bad guys because they always look really kick-ass. But anyway, G.I. Joe characters are all just this hodgepodge of mess, whereas, you know, at least fucking Cobra, at least they wear the same outfit. At least they know who the hell is on whose side, right? At least, anyway. At least. So, yeah. James and Kent, you're going to have to start each episode with previously on Way the Brush. Do a recap. Oh, man, that would be crap. That'd be crap. Just watch the last episode. God's sakes. Or just watch, yeah. I mean, I guess I mean, this is damn near 2 hour. Well, it's over 2 hour show. In fact, let's hurry up and do another email, and then let's call it a day. Last week's stream though got cut short because I had some sort of catastrophic error. I ran through the troubleshooting, and yeah, it was unconventional. I'm pretty sure what it was the hard drive had a failure. It's a solid state drive, and I'm not 100% sure what exactly fails on a solid state, but all it took was a quick fix. Basically just run the repair tool on the drive, and I was back up and running. So yeah, I bought a new drive, but now that drive is a backup for my current drive, so that if I do have to fail, or if I do fail and I have to reinstall, I can just simply mirror my drive and be back in the game, as long as it's not a complete hardware failure. But anyway, this is from our good buddy Koma. Hello, Monkey King. Here are some stuff I painted since last time I sent an email. Painted up all the Explorers in Escalation expansion for Blackstone Fortress. But since I already had painted the cultists in the box, I only included them in a pic with all the models in the set. There are also the Guardian drones for Ascension expansion for the same game. And the Space Marines, so many Space Marines to paint. Points for improvement is always welcome. Best regards, KOMMA. See, I assume it's KOMMA, right? Coma? I always say coma, but is it KOMMA? Are you a fighter, Kim? Really? I thought you were a pastry chef. Anyway, so let's have a look at Coma's painting. Now, painting from KO is always fantastic. I mean, excellent control. I think, I mean, like, as far as, I'm pretty sure he's glazing. I know it's layered. You can obviously see the layering. I think you should try some wet blending next. Venture into some wet blends. I don't know if you do a lot of glazing, really, really fine glazing, but yeah. Now, I know you pump through models pretty darn fast. Like, if you're on our Discord, Coma is a regular contributor, and it's really quite amazing how fast Kim gets through a project. Shit. I mean, like, this is hours of work, I assume. But yeah, maybe you're ready to venture into, like, if you're looking for a new challenge. If you're not looking for a challenge, then by all means continue to do what you're doing. But if you're looking for a challenge, maybe it's time to expand into other technique. Maybe wet blending, glazing, mastering the dry brush, whatever it is, whatever area you've been curious about, maybe now is the time. Yeah, I know, like, with your Terminators, and I see, like, you go about this layered approach, right? And this is like, I see a lot of painters doing this, basically where they create the broad band and then they mix the in-betweens and then, you know, create the transition on the outside. You could just as easily do that through wet on wet blending, like a 2-brush blend. Yeah, you would accomplish that in like half the time it takes for you to create those transitions on brush. Yeah, this one's really nice. I like the transitions on the legs. It's very nice. But yeah, I like, honestly, like with Kim's work, I mean, I don't think Kim's here right now because he mentioned that he had to be somewhere else or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, this is for you, Kim. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to spend more time, especially when I'm seeing like some of these areas where, for example, you know, paint is hitting into other areas. Like I can see on the knee, there's a little bit of orange on the highlight of the knee, of the armor. I could see like the skull on the helmet. I can see that there's a little bit of paint bleeding out and stuff like that. These are minor things. But if you're spending more time per model to really, you know, because again, to the eye, these probably look flawless, but when you're painting to camera, obviously all the little tiniest of imperfections pop out. And I think it has to do with the nature in which we focus on things, right? Because with our eyes, we can only focus on one minimal thing, versus the camera can show us every imperfection all at once, and that immediately stands out to our brains because we focus on patterns, that kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, as a whole, I mean, like when we're looking at it like this size, this looks more like, you know, how we would see it at arm's length, and obviously it looks fantastic. But when we really examine it, obviously we'll see all the little, you know, when we start like nitpicking. Now, I don't know if you're really looking for me to nitpick over your work, because, I mean, if you want me to, I mean, I can, but I think you just need to spend a bit more time and do some self nitpicking, because that's the big difference between, you know, painting to display, you know. And of course, taking regular photos of your own work, you know, also enables you to have the eye to nitpick your own work as well. This is really nice though. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, as long as you're willing to always challenge yourself, you know, why not? Ooh, I like that. That's fun. Oh, these guys. Yes, very nice. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, Kim's work is like really, really good. And, you know, but I don't know, like, if the goal with all this painting is to like, typically whenever we say we want to become a better painter, typically the goal, at least the common idea behind it, is that we're painting towards competition type standards or display type standards, you know what I mean? We're looking to win awards, that kind of stuff. Now, if that's your goal, then yeah, I would spend more time in the transitions and creating the blends and things of that nature. That's really the only difference between your painting and, you know, somebody who's relatively new to this, and, you know, yeah. But I mean, like, as far as going to a really good tabletop, oh yeah, definitely Kim's work is great. You know, but if your goal is to you know, become a really great painter, then yeah, you're just spending a bit more time creating those transitions, nitpicking over those fine little details, and, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah. Nathaniel, Kris recapping each episode by will be ranting about previous rants. Yeah, I would be in a loop if I would just rant about the previous rants, because even previous rants that I've ranted about, I've probably ranted about in the past as well. So yeah, it'd just be a rant show. It'd just be me constantly stuck in a feedback loop of just ranting. Oh, Old man Logan, what's wrong with Kris? What's wrong with Kris? I don't know. What's wrong with me? Oh man, that's a whole show in itself. Nathaniel, imagine Kris doing a Space Marine librarian narrator in the Warhammer video game with that voice. I don't even remember what the hell that voice was now. I was just doing a voice. Anyway. James Kent, don't give Coma tips on being quicker. Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, James, yeah, you're in the Discord. I mean, you see how fast Kim runs through projects. Man. I've only ever known one other individual who paints that fast. That's Ash. Ash is ridiculously fast when he paints. But Ash is not too precious. At least I don't think he is too precious about his painting. He just gets it done. That's his goal is just get it done and get it ready. Me personally, my painting. The only reason I'm precious about my painting is because oftentimes I'm painting for the camera, painting for video, and it's got to look a certain way on camera because otherwise it's gonna look like shit, right? So it's the only reason I'm precious about my painting. Aaron Seach, do a guard kill team and paint each model as a variation of character G.I. Joe or Cobra. That's an excellent idea. Yeah, I could totally do that. That'd be kind of fun, actually, thinking about it now. That means I gotta pick up all the kill team books though. Oh, fuck. Because I'd want to equip them properly, and actually my son and I, we were talking about kill team yesterday, because he seemed pretty interested in doing kill team. I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, we picked up Aeronautica. We haven't fucking sat down to play that one yet. Because he's busy doing his thing, I'm busy doing my thing, and it's like and it's the end of the day, and then of course it's dinner time, and then we want to just kick back, and of course now we're into football, so now football is a big part of our week. Bah, Jesus H, that scared the shit out of me. Demon Monkey Bot, thank you for following M McCha. Oh, is that Mike? Mike? Is it Mike? Yeah, it was Mike. I think it might be Mike. Ghost Starman Deluxe. We're on Twitch now because I'm in the kitchen. It is. Oh, okay. Oh. Long time no see, bud. Hopefully you're well. I don't know if you're still in this area. Are you still in the Niagara area? I thought maybe you moved away. Was that it? Anyway, that was a long time ago, bud. It's a long time ago. Long time ago. Oh, you did, but you moved back. Oh, okay. Well, welcome back. Used to play with Mike. Mike, right? Mike? Yeah, sorry. That's just been a long time. Used to play a lot of War Machine. Back when, War Machine was the shit around here. That was the shit. And, yeah. Now, nobody plays it. That's what happens when, if it ain't, that's when you don't follow your own advice, and, it's, don't fix it if it ain't broke kind of thing. Yeah, you moved away, and then everyone stopped playing. You were the linchpin that kept us all together? Yeah, possibly. Maybe. For me, personally, I mean, it was the edition change. That's what killed it for me, because everybody stopped playing. Yeah. It died when that edition changed. But, anyway. Oh, yeah, and also the store closing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Mini Wargaming store. Yeah. Yeah, that killed it as well. 100%. I mean, everybody was struggling because the Fort Erie people were playing together, and all the St. Catharines people weren't playing, and of course there were the Welland people who were going to like Fort Erie, and there was like, whereas when there was the one location here, everybody in the entire area kind of came here, kind of thing, right? So yeah, either way, it died. It's dead. It's gone. Will it come back? Maybe. If we do a seance. Because my son was actually, we were talking about that because he used to love War Machine, and he was talking about getting into Kill Team, because I was telling him that we can peruse all my collection, and we could probably assemble a Kill Team in whatever faction we wanted. Yeah, pretty much. I could do Kill Team of whatever faction. And yeah, it was convenient. It's a shame. Yeah, no, it was just a good time. It was a good time, when we all could just hang out and fire off a couple games, and like what the location in which Mini Wargaming is at now and the space that they have now. If we could have had that then, oh man, yeah, it'd have been fantastic. The crew would have been huge. Like everybody playing would have been huge. Because I don't think the community is as active as like the wargaming community, not just War Machine community, but the wargaming community. I don't think it was as active as it was when War Machine was around. When regular War Machine. You know what I'm talking about. I'm all done emails. Sweet. It's like when homework's done. I'm all done my homework. But yeah, Aaron, I like that idea of doing a G.I. Joe kill team. And if you are out there and you're thinking that's an excellent idea, doing like Space Marines or Imperial Guard or whatever faction, and doing them like Imperial Guard or Cobra, do it and send me pics, because I want to see it. Because if you get it done before me, it might inspire me to do something else different but along the same lines. But yeah, I mean it's just having fun with color schemes and just just doing something different. For God's sakes. Even Transformers. Take Transformers scheme, apply it to fucking Necrons. Imagine Starscream. Do a Starscream color scheme, because Starscream's got such a distinct color scheme. Do Starscream, but as Necron. Somebody do that. Maybe I'll do it. I probably not, because I'm doing all my Necrons the same color scheme. So yeah. Mike, I didn't know they had a new space. Where is it? It's over on King. They got a new space now. I don't know if they're open to the public yet, just because of this whole pandemic shit. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't been following too closely. As you may or may not know, I'm not with Mini Wargaming anymore. So yeah. But anywho, I think on that note, I think we're done for the day. What time are we at? Holy cramoly, almost 40 minutes over OT. We're in the OT, man. So we're done. We made it to the 30-yard line, and we kicked the field goal. And so, we're done. We won. We won an OT. We won. That's the great thing about this show. Is that no matter who wins or who plays, we all win. Does that make sense? No, not really. But if you're brand new to this hobby, you want help with the color scheme, particular painting technique, whatever it is, whatever your question is, there are no dumb questions. Send your questions to Kris at wayofthebrush.com. It is in the description below, as well as a link for wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all the cinemas has links for all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep conversation rolling there 24/7. Sometimes it's not full 24, but sometimes it's like 25. I know. We add an extra hour in just because of the craziness. And we have varying channels of different topics in, so, whatever fits your flavor. Of course, as long as we only have one rule, don't be a dick. Of course, wayofthebrush.com also has links for T-shirts. Want to get yourself a T-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy. And also, oh man, I didn't even mention it earlier. I also did a new design, inspired in part by, large part by Ghost of Starman Deluxe. We were farting around with funny ideas, and basically, I had posted it on Facebook. I think it was on Facebook. Let me see if I can pull it up real fast. But a new design, and and it is a kind of play on the whole Conan. Hey, there's a tournament going on over at Mini Wargaming right now. There's a tournament going on. But anywho, this is the new shirt design. This is off the Facebook page. What is best in life? To paint your models, to take care of your brush, and to hear the lamentations of the unpainted. I guess I should do this more in the Conan voice, right? What is best in life? To paint your models. Or I guess this part should be read in the Arnie voice, right? To paint your models, to take care of your brush, and to hear the lamentations of the unpainted. That hurt my throat. So anyway, that is the new shirt. Basically, that is on the back because like see like this shirt I have take care of your brushes on the back, and I have Way the Brush logo on the front. I also have some that are just the monkey logo on the chest, but this new one here is that is on the back, and the monkey logo is just over the heart, or the like over the, I guess it's the heart. I don't know what is this sector called on the chest. And I also got it in men's and women's, and I think also have some extra large sizes as well. I think like big and tall. What is that called when the design is like right over here? Is this the heart? What is that called? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not that smart. Anyway. Oh yeah, we're doing ending spiel. Breast? Breast. Sure, breast. We'll say breast. Why not? Fuck it. Where was I? Oh yeah, so shirts. So new design, new shirt. I was thinking about doing like a little commercial type thing, but I don't know. Maybe I will. Who knows? I think maybe if I when I get mine in, because I'm gonna order one. So yeah, that's what I like to do. Like I like to wear. If I'm talking, wear the shirts, then maybe I should be in the shirts. That's why I'm always wearing a Way the Brush shirt in this show, because practice what you preach, right? Anyway. So a huge thing, if you bought a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also waythebrush.com. And of course, also at the site is Patreon. Link for Patreon support. Huge thank you to everybody who currently supports by Patreon. There are varying tiers of support to choose from, with various perks associated with each tier. There are goals. I'm building towards those goals. That's all there for the perusing of eyeballs. And, huge thank you to everybody. I'm independent, so this is how I make a living. And of course, if you want to see this channel grow and succeed, I need your support. And a huge thank you to everybody who does. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, sharing the video, all help as well. Those are all like interactions, and it gets pushed off to other people, and people go, oh yeah, okay, I'll check this out. So you're helping me out, and all it takes is a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out tremendously. So huge thank you to everybody who does, and everybody who does both. Well, man, me love you long time. Big thank you to Carl, aka Guymere Alfer, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Always take the time to thank Carl, even though he's no longer with us, for taking the time to create the email jingle that plays before an end of every, well, not the end, but before every email segment of the show. So always much love to Carl, even though, he's no longer on this planet. He's moved off to the spirit world. Speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for taking the time to create the intro, outro music that plays at the beginning and end of the show. So always much love to my baby brother Evan, because he's a talented motherfucker. And, yeah. I said fucker, not fucker. Fucker. There's a distinction there. Always much love for my baby brother Evan, because he's badass. And, yeah. If you're into comics, rarities, such, check out EB Comics. That's his deal. He's into rare comics. He loves them. He's got a huge collection of them, and he's just getting rid of them. And because he's sitting on rarities, rare. I'm talking like rare. If you're into like the obscure rare, like the one where Red Skull gets fisted by Captain America, he's got that issue. You didn't see that issue? There's an issue on that. He's got it. Everybody's like, really? Was there an issue where Red Skull was fisted by Captain America? Yeah, I'm telling you right now. Why would I lie? Why would I lie? I wouldn't lie with that. Oh, shit. Aaron C., speaking of different paint scheme, Metallic Crimson Fists coming soon. Yes. Yeah, man. Send pics, man. Send pics. Ghost of Starman. Way of the Brush logo on the titty probably means a little lewd due to the white paint. I don't understand what the hell that meant. You English and your English. Country spawned the language. Nobody frickin' speaks it. Yeah, that's right. I'm being racist. We're gonna end this. We're gonna end the show on some mild racism. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys next week. Next week? Yeah, next week. Maybe. If we're all here. Unless, of course, there's supposed to be an asteroid coming. So who knows? We're going to all just die in a fiery asteroid. If you survive the asteroid impact, I will find you.